Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Hello, hello, hello. This is going to be a group energy healing, and it's the second healing in the set of 2 called the February 2025 Twin Set. And we'll be working 2 themes, although yes, I do want to emphasize, in case people don't know, super good for all sorts of other things and not just the theme. But the themes are productivity and good sleep. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very, very prepared. Just a heads up, I only recently, a few minutes ago, made the event on YouTube for it. I was just too immersed in preparing, and I forgot like something as basic as making the event for the live stream on YouTube. So if you couldn't find the event earlier, it's because it didn't exist. So sorry about that. But that is not unheard of that I forget to make the event. But if you ever notice that and it's like the morning of, I meant to make it already, so you could feel free to email me and say I can't find the event for the live stream. I would not consider that nagging at all. I would consider that a friendly reminder. Hello, thank you for my greeting. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay, if you would, please. You can? Okay, good. All right. So lots of good stuff today. I am very excited to tell you about it and to do it. I'm going to change my little banner for that. Okay, so today, what will we do? All right. So essentially, we're working 3 different traditional Chinese medicine meridians and their related Wei Qi auras. And those meridians are stomach meridian, urinary bladder meridian, and Sanjiao meridian. And I'll explain more in a minute on that. And then, so we're doing work on 3 different meridians and their Wei Qi auras that protect and nourish them. And then we are doing 3 other things that are cool too. Tree trunk blocks, clearing tree trunk blocks from above the head and the major joints of shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles. We could throw in elbows, I guess, in tree trunk blocks. That's kind of cheating, but we'll do it. We'll unblock tree trunk areas of the head and here. Then we will unblock sleep slides. Sleep slides is your route to the astral. When you go to sleep and from the astral back into your body when you wake up in the morning or whenever you wake up. And so we're going to unblock that some more to help you wake up better, help you to get back to sleep more easily, things like that. And then the third sort of supportive thing we'll do, in addition to all the fundamentals that we do, is clear hidden fears. So hidden fears you can realize them by like recurring nightmares, maybe not even ones that you have all the time, but it's like a theme, you know, like for example, being late to a class in school is a somewhat recurring theme of mine in nightmares, you know, like I can't, like there's some really complex class schedule that I don't understand and I don't know where the rooms are and I kind of don't even remember my schedule and so it's sort of this combination of a fear of being late and then a fear of like embarrassment. So that's the kind of thing, like you might have a dream where someone's trying to kill you. I used to have those years ago. Thank God I cleared those. That's super rare for me now. I wouldn't be shocked if I had one of those dreams, but it's not really a regular thing for me. I used to have that like a somewhat, you know, on and off recurring thing, which is just, you know, fears. subconscious fears. Other ones, subconscious fears like being lost or, you know, being embarrassed in different ways. Like say if you have to go to the bathroom and there's no like private bathroom. There's like a bathroom in front of everybody or some weird thing. So like embarrassment, fear of embarrassment, fear of being killed, fear of, you know, whatever. All sorts of situations. So those I'm going to call them hidden fears because hopefully you don't feel them every day in your conscious life. You may though. But generally, you know, people have these hidden fears that they even hide from themselves. So it's kind of like weird. They'll have a nightmare where, you know, someone's chasing them or whatever, and they'll be like, that's so weird. Why am I afraid of that? That doesn't make sense at all. You know, because it's like you've hidden that even from yourself. So because they're hidden from yourself, you're less likely to clear them in all the energy clearing things that we do. Because it's like, in hiding it from yourself, you kind of tuck it away. And so by explicitly saying, okay, we're going to clear hidden fears, you know, we're really making a point of doing it. And they clear just as easily as anything else. It's just that, you know, you kind of tuck them away and hide them from yourself. So they actually, you know, they generally don't clear unless you really go out of your way. So we're going to go out of our way to do it. And it'll be easy. So, and that could help with, you know, weird recurring dreams. But, you know, your brain and your body will probably always be kind of getting things out. So I don't think, you know, I mean, you could have a time where you generally, like, the tone of your dreams can change. So you tend to not have the big fear ones if you clear more of these hidden fears. So we're going to work on that. And obviously it would help with your life, conscious life as well, to clear these subconscious hidden fears. So looking forward to that. And it could help productivity, but in an indirect way, in that it could just make you more bold, because a part of your subconscious wouldn't be locked up in fear anymore. And so even if, you know, your productivity has to do with something totally different, you know, for example, actually, a good example might be taxes, doing taxes. So that might be a productivity issue, right? You would think, you know, I got to get taxes done, right? And get my tax forms done. But, you know, clearing hidden fears could be really helpful with that, because it could be that because of different past lives where you were, you know, persecuted or your money was stolen or whatever, you know, that you have a fear of it translates into a fear of doing taxes, but it's not exactly. So clearing fear always helps. So we're going to do that, but we're going to specifically clear hidden fears as in addition to just garden variety fears. So those are the basics. So I'm going to talk a little bit extra about the meridians that we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be doing stomach meridian, and that's just because the angels told me to. It's not like I consciously know, like, oh, stomach meridian productivity, you know, or something. But I did notice in surveys, that's part of how the angels showed it to me. Like, if anybody had digestive issues, they kind of like jumped out at me because the angels were trying to get us to work the stomach meridian. So stomach meridian, I'll just show like a really quick still of it. Well, let's see what's a good still to show of it. All the dark green there is stomach meridian. So like it starts just under the eye, and then it goes around all the way up to here. So there are all these points along the jaw, and then it goes down and down that way. So like anyway, I'll show it to you when we do it. It just goes straight down. It's one of the tummy meridians that we've done a lot. Let's see. I can just show tummy meridian. There we go. Yeah. So the dark green one that just goes straight down, that's the tummy meridian, and then it goes, you know, down the thighs and the legs and ends in the feet. So we'll be doing that, and that would help technically with digestive stuff, but with traditional Chinese medicine stuff, it's like there's all these side benefits that aren't obvious unless you know all the different points and what they all do. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And then urinary bladder meridian, we do that one a lot, especially when it is in the back. But in the face, it's kind of cool too. It's very cool. And it's the yellow line right there. So that starts in the corner of the eye, inner corner of the eye, and that's UB1, urinary bladder 1, that point, that dot right there. And then the second urinary bladder meridian point is like right, you know, in the inner part of the eyebrow. And UB2 apparently helps sinuses and stuff. But we're going to especially work UB1 and UB2, just unblocking them and helping them to get good flow, you know, and it goes upward and then over and down. But then we're going to also especially do, I mean, we can do the whole meridian, all of urinary bladder meridian, but we can especially do so that yellow line. See, so it continues in the back of the head. And then, you know, the base of skull points, you know, right at the level of the top of the earlobe and the bottom of the earlobe, those two, you know, where the yellow line goes down there. There's a point where it splits from, so it's 2 branches and then now it's 4 branches. So right there where it splits, that's UB10. And so we're going to do extra on that one. And to be honest, I don't quite remember like all the little things. I just know that we need to do it. UB10 and also UB11. So like if you look, you know, there's the base of skull points, right? There's yellow line and there's, so that's those UB, the yellow line base of skull points level with the earlobes. There's like UB9, UB10. UB10 is where it splits from 2 branches into 4 branches. And then those two inner branches go and rejoin, right? Right there. And there's also the governing vessel meridian in that location too. So, but anyway, when they rejoin like that, those inner 2 branches, that's UB11. So we're going to work that one too. And I've always sort of felt like UB10 and UB11, those 2 UB10 points and then the UB11 point, they're like extra cool. And so that'll be very cool to work those and unblock the auras around them and everything. And for all these ones, we'll do it like we did with the, oh, damn. I still have the stomach meridian text up. Sorry about that. Might confuse people. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Urinary bladder meridian. Oops. Doesn't help if the banner is misleading and inaccurate. Sorry, guys. No, anyway, the yellow one that I've been talking about is actually urinary bladder meridian. Sorry. But anyway, so UB10s, right, is where they split. UB11 is where the inner ones rejoin. So it's like kind of like a V, you know, with UB10s and then UB11. So we're going to work that a whole bunch. Just unblocking it so it's like it can expand enough and have enough life force in it and so that you're there. So anyway, and then of course, you know, urinary bladder meridian is very cool. It goes, you know, on the back, you know, all those, that yellow line right there, that's all urinary bladder meridian. So it's very cool. Like all those points, which I call the butt chakras, those yellow, that yellow line with all the points right there, that's also urinary bladder meridian. And then of course it goes down to the feet, but we're going to specifically we're not going to do too much on the butt chakras probably. Although maybe I'll just keep mentioning it because I can't stop. But we'll do that, the V thing, the UB10s and the UB11. Interestingly, UB11 right there, that's right near where like the starter energy goes into your manifestation wings. So it's a good place to have good flow right there. But anyway, so we're going to do a couple UB points and help the whole UB meridian by unblocking, by melting away taxing blocks in the UB meridian Wei Qi aura. Just like, because 3 days ago actually, this is the first set where the healings are 3 days apart, not 2 days apart. So we'll keep doing that for the twin sets. I think it works well. People liked it, from what I can in the survey. So anyway, 3 days ago in the first healing, we helped the GV meridian and the CV meridian, but we also helped the Wei Qi auras that nourish and support those two, the specific GV meridian Wei Qi aura and the CV meridian Wei Qi aura. And we melted away taxing blocks from those meridians so they could, those Wei Qi auras, so they could generate a lot more gold light to send to the meridian. So it's like a protective, nourishing auras, and we strengthen that a lot by clearing the most taxing blocks in those particular Wei Qi auras. So that's what we'll be doing with these meridians. We'll geek out on some specific points, the meridian as a whole, but then we'll geek out melting away the most taxing blocks in the Wei Qi auras of those specific meridians: stomach, urinary bladder meridian, and Sanjiao meridian, which is also called triple burner meridian, but I call it Sanjiao. I mean, it's not like Janet Wright calls it Sanjiao. It's just that's another way to refer to it. So going to show, well, actually the part of it that we're going to work, you can see right here. Actually, but I don't want to get that too confusing, so I'll put a different image up. So Sanjiao meridian is this turquoise line. So it starts in the inner part of finger right before your pinky. And it goes up and it goes through the elbow, which I think is helpful. And then it goes, those right there and right there, those are, I call those shoulder bridge points. Sanjiao 14 and 15. And then it, does this cool thing where it goes right close to the earlobe and then ends right near the eye and the eyebrow. So it's very cool. And specifically the shoulder bridge points is what I really wanted to work. So, I mean, I want to work the elbow points too, actually, to be honest, because I have an elbow issue and somebody in their survey said they have an elbow issue. So that's cool to work. And elbows, I mean, it's a key joint in your arms, and your arms are really key for your energy flow and manifesting. So you don't want like leaky, weird, blocked up elbows for a million reasons. So, but anyway, so we will work the 2 points that go through the elbow area on the Sanjiao meridian, which are Sanjiao meridian 10 and 11. I'll put it up on the screen later. 10 and 11. Go through the elbow right there. See in the diagram, if you look right there, Sanjiao meridian 10 and 11 are the elbow points right there. And then it continues going upward, and then that one, and then that one. That's shoulder bridge is what I call that those 2 points and the area in between it, that's your shoulder bridge area. And that's just, that part of the Sanjiao meridian. But that's really key, those points. And like, you don't want that like crumpled up and stuff. And so, and that Sanjiao aura, Sanjiao Wei Qi aura, we're going to strengthen that more, by melting away the most taxing blocks from it so that you can have more protection there, because that helps with neck and shoulder tension. And it's just cool. And, the angel said to work it. So so it'll be fun. So that's that. So at least I showed the right name while I was talking about this meridian. This is the Sanjiao Meridian. Maybe I should spell that out. I don't have. Oh, here we go. Oh. Oh, no, no. What did I even want to say? Oh, yeah, I wanted to spell out Sanjiao for people. So that's how you spell Sanjiao, but everyone just says SJ. People use like, little abbreviations, the meridian names. Like 2-letter abbreviations are very common. Meridians. So stomach meridian is ST, urinary bladder meridian is UB, Sanjiao meridian is SJ. All right, cool. So that's all. Yay! Sanjiao meridian. Woohoo! Alrighty. That's all we're doing today. You like it. And it should help a lot of things, not just productivity and sleep. You don't have, yeah. So, yeah, there's that. I'll do a quick sales note. Okay, so that's my website address, jwhealing.com. I'm going to have to change the coloring there so it stands out better against my hoodie. Like each outfit requires me altering that. See if that helps at all. No, that looks gross. Oh my gosh. Gosh, my gosh, my gosh. That looks so weird. Sorry guys, I'm obsessing on this color. One more try. Nope. One more time. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Thank you for your patience with my stuff. All right. So I'm just going to look at chat comments before we get, so the sales note that I was actually supposed to say. Okay, so sales note, for real this time, is you can go on my website and purchase March and April healing sets, and you can view the dates and the themes. They're all there on my website, which is jwhealing.com. Okay. Thank you for your patience with my everything. Okay, so I'm going to check chat comments before we do the 3 minutes of quiet, before we do the healing. but it shouldn't take long. Someone says hello. Hello to you. This is hello from Lake Worth Beach, Florida in the US. 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind at 19 kilometers. Yeah, you can still, your Canadian is showing there with 19 kilometers. You maybe mean 19 miles an hour. Oh, you said 8 miles an hour. Good for you. All right. Well, 8 miles an hour is not that big a deal, right? I would hope. In Chicago, they have like crazy winds sometimes. Well, often, I guess. Okay. Well, cool. That is fabulous weather. Someone says hi from Chicago. Someone says, hey, Janet can see and hear you from cloudy San Francisco, California. 58 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. Well, I would take it. We're cloudy and maybe like 42 Fahrenheit right now, I would think. Very dark and cloudy and rainy. So, not February is not a great weather month for our area. Although a lot of times we get the worst snow, which isn't really, saying much, but we get our worst snow in February usually, but not this year, knock on wood. Not so far, at least. Someone says, good evening from Ireland. Well, good evening to you too. I can see and hear you 52 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. And you're not saying where you are, but that's fine. I'm glad that you have 52 degrees and sunny. That sounds really nice. This is, hey, Janet, 43 Fahrenheit and partly cloudy in Chicago. We got the Chicago weather report now. That's good. 43 and cloudy in Chicago. I guess that's fine for February, right? Could worse. That's almost the same as us. Except we're raining. Doesn't sound like you're raining. Oh, right. So, gotta get all my sheets of gotta get everybody's names out in front of me. I can read people as I work. All right. Thank you for waiting. Oh, Evergreen, Colorado. Location report. Thank you. All right. Hey, we'll do 3 minutes of quiet as I finish my prep, and I hope you enjoy the silence. Relative silence. And then after that, I'll start the healing. Okay, thanks for waiting. So, let's start by unblocking your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras. They're really good to use for healing yourself. So, big hand chakra, everyone has one in the palm of their hand, and a fingertip chakra, one in each fingertip. And they can generate a lot of energy. So, if you set those particular chakras, hand and fingertip chakras, to a metallic gold color like this glitter, then you do that with your intention. You don't have to see to do that. And you set them to gold. And then that way, as they spin, which they do naturally, they'll generate gold light. And the more you unblock them, kind of like unclog them, then they generate even more, because it's just easier for them to do the job, not clogged. So you can use the gold light from one hand to clean out the other hand, the chakras in the other hand, and clean out your wrists, because this whole route is really important for you being actually present in your hands. The more present you are in your hands, the more likely you are to feel energy. So you can actually feel an energy block. If you're using a copy to heal yourself and you're combing through somewhere, you can be like, whoa, what is that? And just work to clear that block. So it takes time for you to get good at these abilities, but just, I would say it's worth it in the meantime to practice. So you make a copy out in front of you of yourself, and then you're using gold light to heal yourself. Although if you're just healing your arms and your shoulders, I mean, actually the back of the shoulders, so that's where a copy would be handy, right? You can imagine the back of your shoulders like that view, and then just go to town, unblocking right there would be great. So you can do that a little bit. We'll be doing good work on the shoulders to help the shoulders when we do the meridian work, the Sanjiao meridian and the urinary bladder meridian, and those Wei Qi auras. That could help the shoulders quite a bit, I guess. But anyway, so just a little bit of neck and shoulders unblocking, and arms and hands. Because we're going to be using hands to generate gold light and to heal the whole time. But like I said, the more unblocked this whole thing is, the less leaky it is, the more you're there, the more energy you can generate. And this route helps with manifesting also the flow of energy down your shoulders and arms, flow of your energy on your shoulders and arms. You can just imagine your shoulders and arms and hands and just heal the whole thing, unblock, melt away, like heal up, repair any leaks. It's nice, and there's a real strong flow through the shoulder, down the arm, and out the hands. And elbows, we're going to be doing those on and off today. But you can give a little love to those elbows, unblock them, melt away junk in them. And I mean physical and astral elbows, physical and astral shoulders, physical and astral arms. Because your astral body is you as a spirit, and it looks like your physical body. It's like a form that your spirit uses. So it has arms and legs, your astral body. So you want to unblock and repair leaks in both of those, physical and astral. So unblock both your astral elbows and your physical elbows. So that's good enough to get you going. Okay. So let's do some grounding. Why not? So grounding is one of the 5 essentials that we do in every healing. Grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, good karma windows in the back here. Those are the 5 essentials. essentials because if you're screwed up, those are the things you want to check first and do if you need them. So grounding, you can get rid of your old groundings, make brand new ones. Make two, one for your astral body energy system and one for your physical body energy system. Make them nice and wide as all your auras, and have them stay wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Then you make a copy out in front of you of both of your groundings and just comb through with gold light. And you can sweep together without seeing. You can just use your intention and get all the energy blocks that are in your grounding into one area, and then just melt them all with gold light. So sweep together all the energy blocks in your grounding in one area, and then melt them with so much gold light from your hands. You want a very strong downward flow throughout your groundings, all the way down to the core of the earth. So even in the back of your groundings, the left side, the right side, the front, the center core part, really good releasing. Indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of both of your groundings all the way down. Just use gold light and melt away any attachments to your grounding from other people. You might have hard objects stuck in the outer part of your grounding. Just melt them away with gold light. All right. And I didn't talk about color. Set your groundings to your favorite shade of red or orange or yellow, whatever works to help release the most right now. Have them both be the same color. So both red, both orange, both yellow, whichever you like. So I'm going to stick this in here in the middle of the 5 essentials just because I thought it was really needed. So hurry up and do it. So tree trunk blocks, I said we would do it. The reason I call them tree trunk is just to describe how the invasive energy looks if it is coming in through this blocked energy above your head into major joints in your shoulders, your hips, and or your knees and or your ankles. It's like a trunk of a tree, and then it flares out at the bottom of the tree. The tree flare is like the root flare at the base of a tree. You can kind of see how it starts going to the side, and so it just reminds me of a tree trunk. So that's why I call them tree trunk blocks. But you want to be in these major joints, right? And so if they're blocked, it's harder for you to be there. It's much easier for invasive energy to be there, to come down from above and just kind of hook in there, and then you're less productive. You don't sleep as well because foreign energy that's not yours, if it's a person or an invasive being, it just be like an agitating kind of a force for you. It's make it hard for you to feel calm and fully capable. So let's clear tree trunk blocks. So doing, this is the doing part. So just imagine, the area in your auras above your head and any blocks there that invasive beings might come in through, like kind of cord and then send their energy through, and then that allows them to come even deeper. So, and also any blocks in your shoulder joint, your hip joint, your knee joint, or your ankle joint. And I said we would stick in also your elbow joint. So all those joints on both sides. So any blocks, we could first unblock above the head. And what we could do too is rather than just clear the blocks, we could use them as like kind of like a trap for invasive beings. So like if we just look and see like, okay, well, we have, say, 10 blocks up here, right? And don't clear them yet, right? Just you know they're there. And then you say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into these blocks? So that way you get them like gone, right? And then you blow up the blocks. It's just like a nice opportunity to kind of, you know, realize what invasive beings are messing with you and get them destroyed first, you know. It's nice because otherwise if you just clear the blocks, then they're trying to get back in and they can be dramatic. So anyway, so you can think of all your tree trunk areas, right? And all those major joints, including elbow joints and the blocks above the head. And you think, okay, well, angels, if there are any invasive beings in any of these tree trunk areas, can you please recycle them? Just take a couple deep breaths while your angels do that. And then just move out those tree trunk blocks. Move them out, the ones above your head, and then all those major joints, right? A healthy and gentle amount to clear right now. And then just blow them up, right? You can move out those blocks. You can melt people out of the blocks first if you want. And then blow them up. Might be even more effective. So again, you can ask the angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these tree trunk areas, can you please recycle them? Take a couple deep breaths while that happens. Why would you ask twice if you already asked like a minute ago? What's the deal? Why be so repetitive? Because like you're doing a healthy and gentle amount. Your angels are recycling a healthy and gentle amount. And so the more present you are, the more bold you are, the more stable you are. So you're ready to get rid of even more. That's why it would be the multiple requests. Anyway, okay, there's that. So then now just all those tree trunk blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, melt all the people's cords out of them. So your relatives, your work associates, your friends, whoever, just melt everybody out of your tree trunk blocks and then move those to the side and blow them up. You don't have to move them to the side. You can just melt them in place if you want. But I don't know. It might be fun to move them out first so you can kind of see them separately or imagine them. It's up to you. The point is that they're gone and that you have more flow in your joints, which is important. So check out those elbow joints, see. And the blocks in your elbow joints, I mean, sometimes to me, they look like pebbles, like little rocks, like white rocks or black rocks. So melt those away. And they can definitely be from past lives. And that's true for everywhere, not just elbows, but I'm on a big elbow kick today. Love to the elbows. All right, so cool. So unblock above your head again. Unblock your elbow joints and your all the other tree trunk areas. All right, good enough for now. So that was unblocking your tree trunk blocks, including elbow joints. Alrighty. Okay, so aura repair, you have 17 auras, astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras, which are your strong boundaries energy. They're very good. They're full of gold light, and they help with, they're part of your spirit. But anyway, so we're going to repair all 17 auras at the same time. Later, we'll do more with 3 of those Wei Qi auras. But anyway, so all 17 auras, just have a copy of all of them out in front of you. They're pretty much in the same place. So it's kind of like one bubble shape, but it's 17 auras. And just comb through all that. And just with your intention or your intuition, start, finding the rips. And you want to wash them out and repair them. And you can do this locally if you don't have a lot of rips or you just kind of like to geek out like this. But we're going to end up doing them more is using composite copy technique. So let's do that now. So you make an image of a rip and you say with your intention, okay, this represents all the rips in my 17 auras that I need to repair right now. And then you're going to clean out the rip and then repair it. And by doing so, you clean out all the rips in your 17 auras. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that sticks to everything that's not you, and lift out a big chunk of all this junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. What is that junk? Angels, here you go. The junk is hard objects that were thrown at you, helping to create the rip. People's energy, invasive beings. So, and again, sticky gold wax, have it stick to all that junk, lift it out. Angels, here you go. And then just use gold light, get it as deep as you can into the rip. So that it starts to grow back and repair itself. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you please recycle them? Okay, so that probably repaired most of the rips. Let's just do one more time for any leftover rips. So make an image of a rip, new image, and say, okay, well, this represents my leftover rips that I still might have in any of my 17 auras. And then you do the same process. So sticky gold wax, lift out all that junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair process, can you please recycle them? Get the gold light nice and deep in there so that the repair happens. And you may have some leftover hard objects. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Check the outer perimeter of all your 17 auras in case you have little leaks or little hard objects. If you do, pop out the hard objects, repair the leaks, let the hard objects just explode as they pop out. All right, you can redo your gold buffer zones real quickly. There is a 18-minute video teaching you about gold buffer zones if you need that. You would search Janet Wright gold buffer zones on YouTube to find it. What else? Gold mesh spheres are important. They're in the 15 Wei Qi auras. Each Wei Qi aura is filled with gold light. How is it filled with gold light? It's because these gold mesh spheres keep generating the gold light. So a gold mesh sphere just wraps all the way around you, and there's an inner one, a middle one, and an outer one for every Wei Qi aura that you have. So you have 15 inner ones, 15 middle ones, 15 outermost ones because you have 15 Wei Qi auras. So just imagine all of them and repair all of them at once with gold light and with your intention. And I talked about it 2 days ago. I think he's wearing his cone, so I can't use his cone to demonstrate. I used my dog's head cone to demonstrate. But anyway, if you may have a part of one of your Wei Qi auras where it's like it was ripped, but now it's not ripped, but there's still like dark scarring, like sort of like a valley of dark scarring, and that cuts off the gold mesh spheres from being continuous in that area. And so then there's no gold mesh spheres right there. So it's like the aura is there, but it's not very strong because it doesn't have the gold mesh right there generating a lot of gold light. So if you have any sort of scar valleys, we could call them, in your Wei Qi auras, you can just imagine all the scar valleys of all your Wei Qi auras as like one composite. That's kind of cool. And just melt away your scar valley, your composite scar valley in your Wei Qi auras. That's kind of cool. All right. Sorry, I had to note that so it'll be a timestamp. But anyway, so yeah, so just imagine really all your auras, if you have any scar valleys, but it's most likely to be in the Wei Qi auras. Because it's like this subtle thing where then the gold mesh spheres don't continue into that area, and only the Wei Qi auras have gold mesh spheres, so whatever. But anyway, any scar valleys that you have in your Wei Qi auras, just use lots of gold light and melt away the scar valleys in your Wei Qi auras. It's just like a remnant of compressed stuck energy from having had damage there before. Because once the scar valleys are gone, then the gold mesh sphere kind of regrows and it's continuous in that area. So then it continues to generate gold light. And then that area of your Wei Qi aura gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Good. Then gold light to that particular area of your body. You know, it sends gold light inward to that area of your body, and the particular Wei Qi aura the particular meridian that Wei Qi aura is supposed to support, it also helps that. So anyway, that was aura repair and repairing gold mesh spheres, and in particular, melting away composite scar valleys in your Wei Qi auras. If that blows your mind, if it's too complex for you, don't worry about it. Let it go. This is all levels teaching, so there can be stuff in it that's just not for you today. Okay, so creative rings 1, 2, 3, they're above your head. They're above your astral body head, technically. They're part of you as a spirit. So 1, 2, 3. You just make a copy of them out in front of you and you repair and heal them. Melt cords going into them. They have flaps. Like this is how they look when the flaps are out, which is an irritated state. That's not what you want. You want them to be smooth, like a smooth gold ring on that outer surface. But if there are cords going in, that can send energy that's not yours in, and then that irritates the ring and the flaps pop out. And it makes it even more easy for people and beings to cord you, so you don't want that. So just melt cords so that the flaps relax and fall shut. So it's a nice smooth gold ring. Melt cords and repair any damage. So the damage can look like cracks or little missing pieces or broken pieces. You can have just energy blocks around the whole thing, like it can look like hardened mud or something, or ice. So you could just move out the energy blocks and blow them up if you want. Move them out. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Melt them away with gold light. And the middle part of your rings, you know, like this part, you want that part to be unobstructed. No energy blocks in there, so that your energy can flow out and upward your 7th layer and come down. And you can bring in new energy of yours that needs to come in through your 7th chakra. You can bring it right through the rings. So just unblock the middle of the rings there with gold light. Sometimes if you have trouble waking up, one of the reasons could be your creative rings are too blocked. And so it's hard for you to, you know, make it through there, make it through all those blocks. All right, good job, good job. Okay, so chakra repair and unblocking. Let's repair all the chakras at the same time. And all chakras includes major and minor chakras. So major meaning 7 astral and 7 physical, both along the spine. But also minor chakras includes all those fabulous acupuncture points on the meridians of the body. And also like bigger joints that keep the energy flowing, like say up, down your arms, up your legs, that kind of thing, in your spine. You have energy centers all over. So just repair and unblock them all at once. This is the basic chakra shape. So just make with your intention or your imagination. You don't have to see it. But you make it out in front of you an image of a chakra that represents, and have it with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras. Okay, and then just use gold light and wash it out. Melt away cords. There'll be typically pairs of cords from invasive people or invasive beings going around the round openings. So just use lots of gold light and melt those cords away. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with these chakras in any way, can you please recycle them? You can lift out energy blocks that are in the way of the repair and just melt them away. Lift out any blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Melt them away. Lift out the blocks. You can also blow them up if you want, if you're healing yourself. Lift out the blocks. You could hand them to your angels too. Angels, can you help me with those? Again, you want the flaps around the round openings to relax and fall shut because there are no more cords sending irritating energy in, right? So that's how the round opening would look if they were irritated flaps, but if they're shut, then it's just going to look like a smooth round opening. It won't be gold though, but for your chakras. But anyway, keep melting cords. And you can unblock, keep on blocking because the energy cords anchor into energy blocks. If you didn't have blocks or damage, then it would be very challenging for someone to cord you in the first place. So just melt those blocks. The blocks can look like mud, can look like burnt chunks. Keep melting them away. You might have damage, like it could look like cracks or missing little chunks around the round openings, or gashes or scratches along the cylinder part. So just use gold light and repair the damage. Someone in their survey was talking about trembling around other people and well, in general, and more so around other people. And typically with trembling and shaking, I would associate it with three different options. So let me write that down. Okay, so shaking, like literally physically shaking, having trembling. I mean, there could be some medical causes that I'm not aware of because I am not a medical doctor. Fact. But the three causes that I'm aware of that are energetic would be maybe your Kundalini chakra is going nuts and like revving way too much and generating way too much Kundalini energy. Kundalini is a very stimulating energy. In some contexts, it's a sexual energy, but it not necessarily experienced that way at all times. It can just be a part of like a panic attack, or not being able to go back to sleep, or, you know, with kids at recess, you know, just like screaming and yelling and being all revved up. That's Kundalini as well. So, and in a very low amount, it can just be like charisma and peppiness. So it's not always sexuality. But anyway, it's a body energy. There is a Kundalini chakra below the first chakra, and so it's ideally red, just like the first chakra. It's right below it, and it's smaller than the first chakra, but it's like nudged up against it, the Kundalini chakra. And so if your Kundalini chakra is on and generating way too much energy, you would just like calm it down a lot. Like, woo, take it easy. If you're trying to sleep, you would actually stop your Kundalini chakra from spinning. Not the other chakras, but just Kundalini chakra. Just stop it from spinning. Like, it's kind of like a blender. And you just, you know, rather than being on high speed, you can have it on medium speed or low speed or off. Obviously, you can, you know, there are a lot of little variations, but just to be simple about it. So anyway, that's one cause of possible shaking. Another cause is your blood sugar is too low. And I talked about hypoglycemia in the last live stream. After the healing, there were 2 different questions where hypoglycemia came up. So you could refer to that last healing 1 of 2 of the February Twin Set 2025. They're all in the same playlist of February 2025. But anyway, in healing 1 of 2, there's, like I said, right towards the end of the live stream, there's 2 different questions that people had where I discussed and explained hypoglycemia. The only reason I know a lot about it is because I have that issue as well, which can be controlled very well with eating changes. So it's not, you know, not a terrible thing. It's just really important to know about. So anyway, so too much Kundalini being generated, and or you're in the middle of a sugar crash because maybe you're hypoglycemic and you're not eating properly for your condition. And third possible cause is chakra damage. And it could be all of the above. But yeah, chakra damage, creative ring damage is the third possible likely cause of shaking or trembling. So that's an aside, of course, but it came up because we were doing chakra repair. And it came up because people mentioned in their survey, one person mentioned trembling and shaking. To say that 3 possible causes for shaking are too much Kundalini being generated by the Kundalini chakra, in which case you need to regulate that and or turn it off if you want. Or the second thing is low blood sugar, because maybe you're hypoglycemic and you haven't eaten enough regular protein lately, yada yada. Learn how to eat based on hypoglycemia. Check out the last healing for information in the comment section at the end. And then the third thing is chakra damage. Could be creative ring damage also, like just all of the above. But a lot of times it's lower stuff, like first chakra damage. Could be Kundalini chakra damage as well. So anyway, so let's finish up chakra repair. And we just have to finish that a little. We can bring up red earth energy and just soak all the chakras with the red earth energy. That's good enough. Because your first chakra, I wouldn't want to soak it in a different color of earth energy, like orange or yellow or green, blue, and all that. I think red's the best, and red's the best for all the acupuncture points, so which are minor chakras. So you may as well, and all the other chakras can handle red earth energy just fine. So bring up red earth energy just to wash out and calm down the chakras. And cold light, and just melt the cords and let all the flaps close. All right, good enough. That was just finishing up chakra repair, which we had been doing. Okay, so Okay, so we will do good karma windows back here. They are a part of your astral body energy system. So you as a spirit, they're important for several reasons. I mean, you bring in new energy of yours through them. And also, if you want to keep them in good shape so that invasive energy that you don't want to come in can't come in through them. So they're good for boundaries and bringing in new good energy of yours. And that's sort of the basics. So if you, they're back here behind the base of your skull and your neck, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're triple frame windows. They look like 3 concentric squares. Each one has a triple frame like that. And they would be the color of your energy in that aura layer. So if you do a rainbow system, then it's, for your chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, then that's the color that these good karma windows would be: red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. So just comb through all those windows with gold light. And if you're going to bring one color of earth energy for all of them, straight up from the core of the earth, bring up red and wash them all out with red earth energy. Melt cords, going into them with gold light. You can lift out energy blocks from all of them that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. And you can melt those blocks with gold light. You say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings coming through or connecting to these good karma windows, can you please recycle them? And you might want to, massage your legs or something as you do that. Have a deep breath as your angels get rid of those invasive beings. You can make a special grounding for the base of your skull as you give yourself a little gentle massage. So just extra grounding for the base of your skull, going all the way down to the core of the earth. That's red, just so that you can give yourself as much chance as possible to get rid of blocked energy out of this area. And repair your good karma windows. You could have, little breaks. You'd have hard objects stuck in these windows. So lift out any hard objects, melt them away. Lift out the hard objects, melt them away. And repair with gold light. Also, in addition to needing repair because they're damaged, you might just have like other colors on them that isn't your energy. And maybe you've melted the cords, but that person's energy, there's still like pieces of that person's energy there. So just melt away, wash out all these good karma windows, get everybody else's energy out of them. Melt cords from other people. And you could have hard objects or devices, however you want to think about it, stuck in the window part or the frame part from other people. So you can lift out anything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of from your windows, and melt them away, lift it out, melt them away, lift it out, melt them away, lift it out. If they're not melting, you can give them to your angels. Angels, can you take all that? And you may have some invasive beings that are a little stubborn, maybe that got in before you did all your lovely repair that you've just done. So if there's anything kind of anchored into your upper chakras or your tree trunk areas that comes through your good karma windows, just kind of grip onto it, freeze it, and lift it out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So grip any invasive energy, freeze it, lift it out. Angels, here you go. Couple deep breaths. Be aware of your legs and your feet. Wiggle your toes. Your fingers. All right, good job. Good job. And by good job, I mean good job. Yay. Good karma windows 7, 3, and 1. We kind of did all of them really thoroughly just now, but I mean, I guess we could do extra on 7, 3, and 1. So 7, 3, and 1, 1, 3, and 7. Just find them with your intuition. If you can't see, that's fine, or your intention. But do those extra just because they can help with the themes of productivity and good sleep. Just melt other people's junk out of them. Melt cords. You can have like limits from other people being like, no, don't do that yet, or no, you shouldn't do that, or no, you can't be that way. So just melt everybody's junk out of your good karma windows, especially the first one, the third one, yeah, the 7th one. All right, good job. Oh, I didn't say it before. Can you please give this live stream a thumbs up if you wish? It does help YouTube to take it more seriously and show it to other people. Even if it's a video later, it still definitely helps. It's not too late to give it a thumbs up. And that's my thumbs up for you. All right. Okay, so your sleep slide is I love that name. But anyway, it's your route to the astral from your when you're awake and you want to go to sleep, or you want to go back to sleep, and it's your route back from the astral when you're waking up. Back from the astral into your physical body. So you can just imagine it like a slide, like a gold and green slide, and just clear everybody out of there. You can have just like, it's kind of like a big door, and then you have to try to melt your way through it, and it's hard to do. So just all those blocks on your sleep slide, just melt them away with gold light. Somebody was saying how it's hard for them to wake up, especially lately. So check your sleep slide for that kind of thing. Big hard blocks. Melt them away. Even you can have blocks on your sleep side that are more subtle in effect, and they just cause you to not be able to bring in consciously ideas that you already have finished on the astral in your sleep. Like with your angels, you already figured out something, but every time you wake up, you just can't remember quite what it is. That could be sleep slide blocks. It could be other reasons too, but that's one of the main things. So just unblock your sleep slide so that you can bring in all the good ideas and energy and inspiration that you ideally would want to bring in. And then as far as going back to sleep, if there's any worries or other people's fears or your own fears clogging up your sleep slide, just clear those, melt those away. Don't pretend they're not there. Just make them not there because you just destroyed them. Of course, we're going to work more on clearing fears soon. But if you notice any fears on your sleep slide, that would be great to melt them away. Are there any invasive beings hooked into your sleep slide? Just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my sleep slide? Couple deep breaths. All right, good job. Woohoo. Alrighty, we'll do different confetti. Yay! Good job. Okay, so I talked about this in the intro discussion section before the healing started. Clearing hidden fears. So you might only know about your hidden fears because occasionally you'll have a nightmare that's a little bit related to it. But hidden fears, any fear is an energy block. So you're able to clear fear. It is possible. Definitely. It's just that it may seem hard because maybe you have a lot of fear blocks from a lot of different lifetimes that you never got around to clearing. Because most people don't understand that you can clear fear, and they're not stable enough, and their energy isn't, they're not rooted enough and present enough to actually do it. But let's do it. So you can do it however you want. You can make piles. You can make, have gold dumpsters or gold boxes first, and then put the blocks in the boxes and then blow them up. But that's the idea. You're just blowing up energy blocks that are causing fear. Typically, they're causing fear because they're blocking up your first layer or your first chakra of your astral body or your physical body, because those chakras generate courage and a sense of safety. But whatever, we're not going to really worry about where they are. So just make big piles of all your fears, and then special big piles of the fears that are more hidden to you consciously, like fear of embarrassment, or I gave some silly examples of, like, if you have a fear of being late, like missing a test or not graduating, but it's like from junior high that you were afraid of not graduating, but it's whatever. It's like old, weird, nightmarish kind of fears, like someone's chasing you or whatever, right? So general fears you want to clear, and then the ones that usually you hide from even yourself and you're only aware of like occasionally in a nightmare, right? And so those fears and the regular fears. And say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? That way your angels will take away anything that's too much for now. And then also say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into these fears? And then go ahead and you can blow them all up in very colorful fireworks, like, like there you go. Or maybe there you go, right? So you can go ahead and blow up your fears and turn them into colorful confetti before they destroy completely, or, just melt them with gold light. But let's do some more of that, right? So just put out in front of you fears, all your fears. Fear of embarrassment. I had mentioned like fear of, like, maybe there's a toilet but there's no private toilet, so you have to like use the toilet in front of other people, like a toilet with glass walls or something, or or being late, or somehow being embarrassed or humiliated. All these can all be potential fears. Or, being murdered, if you're being murdered or whatever, tortured, whatever, right? So all these terrible fears, just put them out in front of you. And, if you need some butterflies to comfort you while you do that, let's give you some butterflies. Here we go. Here's some butterflies so that you're nice and brave and you don't take your fears too seriously, right? Because they're just blocked energy. So, just go ahead and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these fears right now? That way they'll edit them for you if necessary. And then you have all these fears out in front of you. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these fears, can you please recycle them? And then now you can just blow them up. Or you could burn them with gold fire. Burn them down that way. The idea is you want them to fully destroy. If there's anything left over from all these fears, the regular ones and the hidden ones, just gather all that up with gold light and give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with all this? Okay, we'll do it one more time. Maybe the moving water would be especially comforting for you as you do it. So you don't take your fears too seriously. So put, check your grounding, right? Comb through your grounding with gold light. Make a copy out in front of you of both your groundings. Comb through them. So make sure they go all the way down to the core of the earth. Nice, strong releasing. Melt away blocks. unblock your auras, the lower part of all your auras, especially beneath your feet, so that you get really good releasing. All right. So then we're going to clear your fears, regular fears, and then ones that you really, really hide from yourself, you're only aware of in some weird recurring nightmare, like, you know, being late or being embarrassed or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So put all your copies of all your fears out in front of you. You don't have to feel them, just, you know, make big piles of the energy blocks, right? So all the energy blocks having to do with your fears, and especially, you know, piles of the hidden fears, you know, so the, you know, being afraid of like a public toilet that's not private, or and that's the only one you have to use, or, you know, being afraid of being humiliated or being late or being murdered or whatever, you know, all the hidden fears that you hide from yourself, to put those out in front of you. And angels, can you check all this? Make sure it's healthy and gentle to clear right now. Deep breath. And say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this stuff? And you can also melt people out of these blocks, melt everybody's cords out of all these blocks. And then you can blow up all the fears, including the hidden ones, with like turn them into fireworks or confetti while you blow them up if you want. Like, I have any confetti on this one? No, I don't. Well, anyway, just imagine fireworks as you blow them up if you want. Or you could use gold fire or gold water and just melt them completely. Or just blow them up and don't worry about what they look like as they blow up. You have any leftovers, just gather those up with gold light, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right, so be aware of your legs and the earth energy coming up your legs. Set your feet chakra, the big chakras in the arch of each foot, to be red, so that you bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth all the way up through your body, through your legs, into your first chakra at the base of your spine. So red earth energy coming up through your legs into your first chakra. And you can unblock your legs just a little bit extra so that you get more red earth energy coming through your legs into the front of your first chakra. All right, good job, good job, good job. Yay, good job. All right. Okay, so the stomach meridian is the one that we're going to do 3 meridians, not CV and GV, because we did that 3 days ago in the first healing. So the stomach meridian, right? Which is traditional Chinese medicine in your physical body, but these meridians help you in like psychological ways and mental ways. There's a lot of different ways that these meridians help. So very cool stuff. Okay. So let's watch stomach meridian. It starts under the eye, goes around the jaw, right? And then it goes down the neck and down the chest, through the nipple. Well, actually, it goes under the nipple. My acupuncturist clarified. And then it goes down through the stomach, tummy area, down front of the thighs, front of the legs, and all the way down to the feet, which somehow, there we go, feet. and toes. So it's that medium green line, not the day glow green line. That's the Kelly green line, that's liver, but the stomach meridian is in this diagram, the sort of a medium green line. So that's the one that we're going to be working. The stomach meridian and the Wei Qi aura that nourishes it. So that's where it starts, right? Under the eye, right? And then goes all the way around. So let's just kind of freeze it on one image so we can get some work done with it. There, that's good enough. Oh yeah, that's even better. Okay, so stomach 9 through 12 is like 9, 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. So the green line is stomach, right? And so when it goes down this, first it goes here and goes around, which is super cool. But then it goes down here, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it goes down through, I said through the nipple, but it actually goes, I mean, if we're talking literal nipple, it's going underneath. Because I guess all the breast tissue is over that point. But I'm still going to call it the nipple point. I was like all giggling when I told my acupuncturist that in the live streams I talk about the nipple point and the butt points. All right, so anyway, let's just quickly heal the meridian itself. So you always want to, the first point is always super cool in any meridian. So that first point is the dot right under the eye, right? So I'm going to take off my glasses. Right there, you know, one, and there are a whole bunch right there. 1, 2, 3, they go down and around. So it's super cool. So just stomach 1 especially, you want to make sure it's not too blocked because energy goes from one meridian to the next, to the next, to the next, right? So it goes from, what's the meridian right before stomach? I should know this memorized, but I don't. I think I have them in order, so this would tell me. Yeah, so right before it is lung, no. Right before it is liver meridian. Lung, liver, stomach. So that Kelly green one, actually. So that's one of the, anyway, whatever. But it goes from a different meridian, you don't even have to know which one it is, to the stomach meridian. But if that stomach 1 point right under your eye is too blocked, then it's really hard. It like overworks that point, right? So you don't want that. So just, it's like, it would be red, of course, but it's oriented this way because it's like bringing the energy into that meridian, bringing it downward, right, to the other point. So you could heal an unblocked stomach 1, 2, 3, 4, all together, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, as it goes down your face before it loops up. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, stomach 1, 2, 3, 4, but especially stomach 1. And it could just be full of like, you know, like black rock and just full of black mud. Just really blocked up. So you don't want that. There's lots of gold light, unblock that energy center. And red is energetically, red is, I mean, obviously in this diagram, they have to make each meridian a different color to tell them apart. But red is a really good vibrational color for all of them. All meridians and all acupuncture points. So use gold light. You can use red earth energy up from the core of the earth to kind of wash out these points. And gold light. You can comb out in front of the points too. Okay, so this, the Wei Qi aura that helps the stomach meridian, you can, and just so you know, I usually open my eyes more, but there's the light that I have to use is really bright. So I'm like kind of squinting. Trying not to squint because I know it looks funny, but The lighting is kind of bright. Anyway, so the stomach meridian Wei Qi aura is one of your 15 Wei Qi auras, right? It goes all the way around you. So just be aware of that too. Like you can make a copy of your stomach meridian Wei Qi aura. Kind of annoying that I'm half cut off here. Let me fix that. All right. I'm not. Okay. So imagine that stomach meridian Wei Qi aura, the one of the 15 Wei Qi auras that just nourishes the stomach meridian. And you can imagine the most taxing blocks in that stomach meridian. You don't have to know where they are. And just start running gold light through the most taxing blocks in the stomach meridian. You can just make a pile of those most taxing blocks out in front of you and say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then just run gold light through the blocks and melt away cords from people. Going into these blocks. And again, these are the most taxing blocks in your stomach meridian Wei Qi aura. Okay, so the people, wash everybody out. You, everybody else out. The beings are already out. So then you can just blow up these blocks or melt them away with gold light. Okay, so then keep combing through your stomach meridian Wei Qi aura. And, you know, there's 3 gold mesh spheres in each Wei Qi aura. So there should be 3 gold mesh spheres all the way around. But you may have, what did I call it this time? A scar valley. That's what I called it. Yeah. You may have scar valleys where it's like it used to be ripped up, but it's not anymore, but there's still scarring. Oh. You can find any scar. You can make a composite of all the scar valleys of your stomach meridian Wei Qi aura and just melt away your scar valleys. So, and so just get a sense of how much gold light is in this stomach meridian Wei Qi aura. And is it more than it was, you know, 5 minutes ago when you started working this meridian? And let's again clear the most taxing blocks in this stomach meridian Wei Qi aura. Just put those blocks out in front of you. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in these blocks? Deep breath. And then melt cords from people out of these blocks with lots of gold light. Melt yourself out of the blocks. Melt everyone out of the blocks. And then just blow up the blocks or melt them fully with gold light. So again, just wash through this Wei Qi aura for your stomach meridian. And there weren't really any points. I mean, I guess stomach, I do kind of like stomach 9 through 12. And then I like the tummy area, especially also. But I like the eye stuff too. The eye stuff is pretty hip. Let's do the eye stuff a little more. So stomach 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you don't want it to feel like too tight and compressed. You want it to be like a nice, really flowing red river of your life force and your body's life force. So if it's still too blocked, stomach 1, that first point, just keep unblocking it. All right, that's pretty cool. So then you can just kind of trace it down, you know, when it goes down under the nipple and then through the stomach area. I could just play it again. Just trace the gold light through the whole thing. Let the meridian unblock and repair. Wash everybody out of it. Down the neck, down the chest, under the nipple, through the stomach area, physical tummy area, through the thigh, and the lower leg, a little bit to the side there. Well, just a touch. And then down the toe. There you go. All right, great job. Woohoo! So that was working the stomach meridian itself and also the Wei Qi aura that nourishes and supports it. And we work the Wei Qi aura that nourishes and supports it by clearing the most taxing blocks out of it so it's easier for those gold mesh spheres to generate light. And we also we cleared the most taxing blocks, and we also melted scar valleys. Scar valleys, a new term for today. That's today's term, Scar Valley. All right, fun times. All right, so what's next? Hey, some confetti. That's what's next. So we have 2 more meridians to work today. Let's work the Sanjiao one first, because that one goes through the elbow, which is pretty much my favorite body part of the day, except for nipples, of course, which is always one of my favorite body parts. Oh. Okay. Okay, so had to kind of smush it a little to fit all that in. But Sanjiao Meridian is in the diagram. It's a pretty turquoise color, but that's just in the diagram. It's also called the triple burner. So it starts in this finger right here, outer part of the finger by the nail, and then it goes up through the wrist. Wrists are cool energetically, so there's some wrist points on this one. And that's elbow points, 10 and 11, elbow, and then 14 and 15. Bridge, shoulder bridge, that's what I call the shoulder. And it comes around the earlobe and ends near the eyebrow. So it's a cool meridian. Angels told me we should work it today. Oh, in part because, well, because of the elbow, because some people mentioned elbow issues, and I have some elbow issues. Plus, so that's cool. So that's the elbow part right there. Oops, wait. There we go. So it just went past both those points. So 10, 11, right? So that's shoulder-ish, elbow 10 and 11, right? Sanjiao 10 and 11. All right, go through the elbow. Probably just Sanjiao 10, but 11's right there too. Both. And then the shoulder bridge is Sanjiao 14 and 15. As it goes, I call it a bridge just because it's like kind of level there. I call it something. But the shoulder bridge area and also your Wei Qi aura for your Sanjiao meridian. Because, like, okay, example, somebody in my, not to name any names, but somebody in my genetic family likes, you know, pounding my energy system. And so they're good at finding, you know, weaker parts and or more strategic parts to try to shut me down. Doesn't work so well anymore, but back in the day it used to work really well. So, but one area that this person still hasn't totally given up trying to shut me down through is that shoulder bridge area and the whole Wei Qi aura that supports and protects the Sanjiao meridian. So the Sanjiao meridian Wei Qi aura, you can have somebody trying to punch through there, you know, and weaken the Wei Qi auras there, weaken that, especially that one Wei Qi aura, just to shut down this part of this meridian. Just because it can cause a lot of physical pain. It pops you out, makes it harder for you to have good flow down here for manifesting and self-healing. So it's kind of a strategic place. If somebody's really negatively focused and ruining their karma by harming others, that might be a place that they focus. And so you can look at your, you know, just through your intention, just imagine the one Wei Qi aura that's supposed to support this Sanjiao meridian. And look, you know, in the auras behind your shoulder bridge points, you know, 14 and 15, and just see, you know, do you have any scar valleys there? Do you have rips? Hopefully you don't have rips because we just repaired all the auras, but you might actually have a full rip. But it might not be ripped. It might just be missing the gold mesh spheres right there because you have a scar valley, like just a darkened area that is residue from having had damage there before. So look around your shoulders, you know, around that, you know, out from the shoulder bridge points, Sanjiao 14 and 15, and just look to see if you have any scar valleys in your auras above and behind your shoulders, and just melt those scar valleys. You can have scar valleys in other Wei Qi auras there too. So, I mean, you can do them all at once. You know, any scar valleys in, but the one that's most significant would be the Sanjiao meridian Wei Qi. There are a couple though that, you know, like large intestine meridian goes around the top of your shoulder as well, and gallbladder meridian briefly goes around the top of your shoulder. So there are other meridians too. So you could look at any scar valleys around your shoulder area, you know, in your auras, and just melt all those scar valleys away. And again, you're just combing through that area around your shoulders, above and behind. And you're melting away any scarred stuff, any just hard junk that's left over from having been punished. And if you want to do any shoulder, you know, stretching or massage, that's fine too, of course. Any scar valleys, just melt them away around your shoulders. But then to the Sanjiao meridian specifically, which in the diagram is a bright turquoise color right there. So as it comes up your upper arm, and then it goes the flat part right along the top of your shoulder. Well, slightly back, but mostly top of your shoulder. To see, is that too skinny right there? Because you don't want it to be like a straw that's like really hard to suck things through. You want it to be like a very relaxed, expanded, flowing red tube with flowing red life force in it of yours and your body's. And if it's not, just focus on the chakras too, and just let them relax and unblock enough. And you can say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this meridian, messing with this shoulder area, shoulder neck area at all, can you please recycle them? So again, we're doing Sanjiao Meridian 14 and 15 specifically. We'll backtrack and do the elbow. Well, let's do the elbow now too, because since the elbow comes before it in the meridian, that could help. If we unblock the elbow more, then you could get more flow up here to the shoulder bridge area, which could help unblock the shoulder bridge area. So let's do it in the more logical order, which is do the elbow first. You can do Sanjiao 1 too, because like I said, the first point of a meridian is always a big deal. So it starts, it's kind of hard to see right there, right there. It starts in this finger, like the inner part right by the fingernail, and then it goes up and through the back of the wrist. So there are some points there in the back of the back of the hand, right? So just you can just you don't have to, like, your copy out in front of you doesn't have to have every little twist and turn. You can just imagine it like one big red flowing river. Well, and maybe it's not red, maybe it's blackened and it's got white in it and it's got spinny, weird, invasive beings in it. And imagine it how it is, but you don't have to have it be a literal, like, like that little bend in it. You don't have to show that in your copy if that blows your mind too much. But Sanjiao 1, unblock that enough so that it properly receives as much life force as possible coming from the meridian before it into it. The meridian before it would be pericardium meridian, which is important. They're all important, of course. But anyway, so Sanjiao 1, they said it's like right there in the finger. Unblock it enough so that you can lift out the blocks and melt them away with gold light. Lift out the blocks, melt them away with gold light. And just unblock all those points in the back of the hand, back of the wrist. And lift out the blocks, melt them away. Lift out the blocks, melt them away. You want it to feel like it's expanded and flowing, right? You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this healing, can you please recycle them? So then we'll watch it go to the elbow area so we can work that. There we go, there, right there. So those 2 points that are close together near the elbow, that would be Sanjiao 10 and 11. So just since they are literally located, around the elbow, they can help with having good flow and presence there. So again, you know, picture it like a red river. Does that river have rocks in it? Melt the rocks away. Does that river have weird spinny tornado beings? Just have your angels recycle them. Does it have leaks? Just heal those, repair those with gold light. Are there any people that you know sitting in this part of the meridian? Just wash them out, melt their cords away. All right. If you need to do any physical massage of your hand or your arm, you could do that. All right, and then check that shoulder bridge area again. Just follow it up, follow the meridian up. How's your shoulder bridge area? Did working on the elbow help it? The elbow points. And then right here is kind of cool. Where it goes right in the. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it feels like there's some lymph nodes right there that are important. So just unblock your SJ meridian right there as it goes through the side of your neck. And around your ears. Then straight line out to the outer part of your eyebrow. Right there. Pretty cool. All right, cool. So then the Wei Qi aura that helps your SJ meridian, we did a little bit of it already with the melting away the scar valleys around your shoulders. So if you have any scar valleys around your elbows in any Wei Qi aura, but especially SJ Wei Qi aura, any scar valleys around your elbows in your auras, just melt away any scarring your auras around your elbows in your astral body aura or your physical body. All right, you want continual gold mesh spheres all around, because then it'll send a lot of gold light there and help to protect. Right, so then just in general with your SJ meridian Wei Qi aura, just pile out in front of you any of the most taxing blocks of this SJ meridian Wei Qi aura. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then just melt people's cords out of these blocks. And then melt the blocks themselves or blow them up. Come through the whole SJ meridian Wei Qi aura. Especially around the shoulders and the elbows. Not everywhere. Okay, so one more time, we will clear the most taxing blocks in your SJ meridian Wei Qi aura. Just put them out in front of you, big pile. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these, can you please recycle the invasive beings? Deep breath. And melt cords from everybody out of these blocks. And that helps reduce backlash if you thoroughly melt people out of the blocks that you're going to clear. And then go ahead and melt the block. Or blow them up. All right, so get a sense of your SJ meridian Wei Qi aura now, and how was it, say, an hour ago before we worked all this stuff? how much gold light, compare the volume of gold light. All right, good job, good job. So the final one that I want us to work is when we have worked a bunch before. Okay, and that is the urinary bladder meridian. So it starts in the inner corner of the eye, goes around, and that's the first point. Well, no, actually, both in the beginning. Well, okay, I'll just play it out. So those are the butt points. Official title. But this is all the urinary bladder meridian. There are a couple branches, so it's going back up to just show you the outer branch now. Outer branches of the urinary bladder meridian as it goes through your back, your lower back, and your butt. And the back of your thigh. Back of your leg. All the way down to the outer side of your foot. Down to your pinky toe. So very cool meridian. I want to especially work, let's see. Hold on one sec. Oh my gosh. Operator difficulty, please stand by. Okay, thank God. Wait. Yes, I fixed it. All right, good. Okay. So, urinary bladder meridian. UB. So specifically, I want us to work UB points 1 and 2, and also UB 10, where it's, I'm going to call it the split, and then UB 11. Yeah, to 11. All right. Make it not so huge. Sorry about all this. Okay, so UB 1 and 2, that's right there. I'm going to take my glasses off again. So UB, it's the yellow line in the diagram that you're seeing. So UB 1 and 2, so that's the urinary bladder meridian, that yellow line. And so it starts in the inner corner of the eye, and then it goes straight up to the inner part of the eyebrow, and then straight up to like the hairline, and then it goes over just a touch before it goes back, right? So 1 and 2, I want to focus on extra today. Obviously, the first point is super important. That's the one that lets in energy from the meridian right before it. So you don't want that UB1 to be blocked, because that would kind of make it hard for all the points on the meridian to have enough energy. So imagine UB1, and the true color of it would be red. Ideally, you want all these acupuncture points to be red on an energy level, but this would be the orientation of it, right? And you want to make sure it's not all blocked up right here, so it can receive energy from whatever other meridian is sending it, and just unblock this enough so it goes in, through, and up the UB2, right? So just keep unblocking UB1 more and more and more. And then UB2, more and more and more. And you can comb through in front, your auras in front of UB1 and 2, especially the UB Meridian Wei Qi aura. That would be the one that most impacts it, right? So just comb through right in front right here, right? Your UB Meridian Wei Qi aura, like right here. Unblock all that. You may have like a scar valley right there, or you may actually have a rip, but hopefully you don't, because we've done aura repair already, but you might. So in which case you repair the rip, but you may just have a scar valley. I mean, you might not, but you may, just hardened energy left over from having a rip there in the past. So any scar valleys in front of your forehead and your eyes, let's say that. Melt away any scar valleys in front of your forehead and your eyes, especially from your urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this healing, could you please recycle them? And you can imagine just the urinary bladder Wei Qi aura. So it goes all around you, just like all the Wei Qi auras, but it's just that one, right? That's for the urinary bladder meridian. And look in front there. Do you have any weird, like, devices, any hard objects? And just get a sense of them, and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these? And then melt all the people out, all the cords. Melt yourself out, and just let them melt away. We're unblocking in front of the eyes and in front of the forehead, but especially that urinary bladder Wei Qi aura. Right there. Find some more blocks. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Melt all the cords from people, and then melt the blocks. Couple deep breaths. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this healing work, can you please recycle them? You can also just strengthen the entire urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura by clearing the most taxing blocks, right? So just put out in front of you the most taxing energy blocks in the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. Make a big pile of them and just say, angels, is it okay to clear all these right now? And so your angels will remove any that are too much for today. And then say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into any of these blocks? And then just go ahead and melt cords going into them from other people. Melt yourself out of these blocks and just let these blocks explode or melt them fully. And it can be a big shift to get more present here because it's like right before it like could put you more in your sixth chakra and potentially more in some of your other upper chakras. You can just imagine all your major chakras along your spine and just use lots of gold light and red earth energy. Soak all your chakras, major chakras, with red earth energy and gold light. Align all your chakras. Let them relax and work together and flow. If you have any invasive beings that are not too thrilled at being knocked out of those points, just say, angels, can you recycle those invasive beings? Okay. And then let's just go a little further in the urinary bladder meridian. So that's point 1 and 2, which we just did. Then there's more points. We're not going to. Okay. So right before we're about to get to UB 10. Right there. That's UB 10. And then that's UB 11. Okay. So it's like a triangle. UB 10 is at the top or a V, let's say. UB 10 is at the top and UB 11 is at the base of the V, right? And so let's unblock both of those. The UB 10s that you have 2 UB 10s. You have 1 UB 11. You can comb through the auras behind UB 10 and UB 11. Especially the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura right behind there. You might have some really odd, hard pieces of energy behind UB 10 and UB 11. That V part, right? So just comb through the UB Meridian Wei Qi aura right there. And any hard objects, just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then just melt cords from people going into these blocks. And then use so much gold light that you just melt the blocks completely. And or hard objects. Any left over, just give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Comb through your urinary bladder Wei Qi aura everywhere. But especially in front of your eyes and forehead, and especially behind your the UB 10 and UB 11, that V base of the skull and the back of the neck. Comb through behind UV 10 and UV 11. If you have any invasive beings there, just say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? You can give yourself a little massage in that area just to help your body awareness, help the muscles relax. You could ground, give a special red grounding to UB 10 and UB 11 points. I'm sorry, the UB 10 points and the UB 11 point. Goes downward 10, 11. Ground UB 10s and ground UB 11 with red earth energy from the block with gold. And just take a second, be in your body, feel how that feels. Let your grounding release. All right, good job, good job. So that was working directly on the urinary bladder meridian a little bit, and more than that, even on the Wei Qi aura that nourishes it, the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura. And we did specific points 1 and 2 right here, and then 10 and 11 points by the back here. UB10 and UB11. UB10 split, I wrote right there because that's where it splits. So if we look again right there, so where the yellow line's going down and all of a sudden it's 2 yellow lines and then it becomes 4 yellow lines right there where it splits. That's UB10 split point right there. Where it splits into 4 branches instead of just 2. Right? So that one we healed extra because it's cool. All right, great job, great job, great job. So I'm going to look to see if there's anything we still need to do or not. Okay, so we're going to do 2 quick things before we wrap up, because I was looking at one sample person that the angel showed me, and this person, they're young and they just graduated college and they can't find a job and they have a lot of negative self-talk. And that's can be true for someone of any age and any stage of life, that you might be stuck in a pattern where you have a lot of negative inner dialogue. You just are not able to encourage yourself and motivate yourself properly. You just keep, like glass half empty. You just keep like kicking yourself when you're down. And that is terrible for motivation and productivity and even sleep, potentially. So we're going to clear energy blocks because that person has energy blocks in several chakras, mostly 7, 4, and 1, that says that he's not good enough. And those blocks, sometimes they can be from other people that just got stuck there. Or sometimes it can be from you, like say from a past life or this life. You can put more energy into, negative inner messages, which is unfortunate, but it can happen. So it's easy to clear though. So we're going to clear not good enough blocks wherever they are in your space. And then we're going to follow up with some flower healing so you can practice validating yourself. Because external validation versus internal validation. The problem with looking for a job is you get so many no's potentially, or the potential for getting a no, a rejection, right? When you apply for a job can be really very high, and you can be rejected over and over and over again until you're not rejected and you get a job, right? But you have to be able to withstand that time period where there's so many rejections. It's like gardening, the potential for failure is pretty high, like slugs can come out of nowhere and just mow down all you planted, or whatever. Like there's a million reasons why your garden could not do well, right? And so the potential for failure is pretty high, and you have to just be kind of self-lifting. You have to lift yourself up. You can't depend on the external validation of external success for you to have inner constructive, positive self-dialogue. I mean, you don't want to delude yourself, but you want to be able to pick yourself up and motivate yourself again, right? And so like that person, if they are applying for jobs and they're not getting any, well, then, if they have these not good enough blocks and then they are not able, they're waiting for someone to say, yes, you did good by going to college. You did good by, getting those grades and whatever is on your resume. You're good. I want you, right? But without that external validation, you need to be able to validate yourself, right? And so can you validate how far you've come in your life? So we're going to, as far as clearing not good enough blocks, we'll clear anything in the way of you being able to validate yourself. And then we'll just practice one form of self-validation, which is flower healing, where you just like give yourself good job flowers, kind of on an energy level. So you practice self-validating so that you're not waiting for other people to say, oh, good job, or to show you good job by giving you a job or, whatever, giving you a raise or whatever external validation that you feel like you would like. You can't control whether you get that or not a lot of times. And so it's much healthier to always self-validate all along the way. And ironically, you tend to attract more positive situations to yourself the more you can self-validate, which is not fair, of course, because you would, if the world were fair, then, when you're feeling so down, the world should just pick you up and give you all this external validation. But that's not often how it works. So we're going to self-validate. We're going to learn how to self-validate. We're going to clear this not good enough blocks. We're going to clear blocks in the way of you self-validating. Okay? So very easy to do. Let's do it. There we go. Doing. So, okay. So, just pile them all out in front of you. All the blocks that say you're not good enough, you're not young enough looking, you're not thin enough, you're not muscular enough, you're not, employers don't want you enough, whatever, you're not enough, right? You're not good enough, you're not this enough, not enough, whatever, right? Just put all that junk out in front of you. It could be in your space because somebody dumped it there. It could be in your space because you got stuck on it 5 lives ago. It doesn't matter, right? So giant mountains of baggage that says you're not good enough on any level. And then say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? It probably is, but you can always check. All right, so then anything that's still there means, yes, your angels think it is healthy and gentle for you to clear right now, right? And so then you can also say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? These invasive beings love this kind of stuff, right? Because this demoralizes you, makes you pop out, makes you unmotivated. So then you're an easy target for feeling energy. So do some deep breaths while your angels get rid of the invasive beings hooked into this stuff. And then now melt people's cords and your own out of all this junk, all this not good enough baggage, right? Anything that blocks you from validating yourself. Melt the cords, melt yourself out of the piles, melt everyone out of the piles. And then you could blow up the piles with some beautiful fireworks if you want. Like, boo, there you go, blow them up. Or you could just melt them away or blow them up without the fireworks. Okay, so let's do that again. Put out in front of you any inner baggage that you have on any level, subconscious, left over from past lives, dumped from your sibling into your space yesterday, whatever. Just any not good enough baggage that you have. Any baggage that says you're not good enough, not smart enough, not fast enough, not young enough, not whatever. Not sexy enough. Whatever. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this stuff? Deep breath. And then lots of gold light, melt cords from people going into any of this stuff. Doesn't matter who, just melt all the cords away. And then go ahead and blow up the baggage if you want, like a beautiful confetti. Or just, blow it up with no explosion, no prettiness, or melt it away with gold light or gold fire. And if you have any left over, just wrap it up in gold light, give it to your angels, say, angels, can you help me with this? Couple deep breaths. All right. So then the perfect companion to what we just did Okay, so we're going to do flower healing to strengthen your ability to self-validate. Part of that is just by self-validating, it's kind of like reinforcing. You're like, oh yeah, that did feel good that I said good job to myself. But we're just make energy healing flowers or balls of colored light if you prefer. You don't like flowers. But make a lot of energy healing flowers for yourself out of universal healing energy. So any rainbow color, gold light, or both. And just whatever vibration that you need to strengthen your ability to validate yourself. You're not holding your breath, waiting for the external world and other people to validate you, right? So strengthen your ability to validate yourself. Just make a whole bunch of flowers to strengthen that ability. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then go ahead and give them to yourself. Okay, let's do that again because you deserve more. So make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers out of universal healing energy, gold light, rainbow colors, and to strengthen your ability to validate yourself, to encourage yourself, to look on the bright side, to pick yourself up and inspire yourself. Strengthen that ability, right? And then say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give those flowers to yourself. Breathe them in, soak them up. Allow yourself to have that validation. And then we could just do straight old good job flowers, right? So we're not thinking of like overall strengthening. It's just a one-time great job. I'm a rock star kind of flowers. So make energy healing flowers just to congratulate yourself for how far you've come either this month or this year or this lifetime, or in many lifetimes. Just congratulate yourself on your progress, right? And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Okay, one more batch. Good job, flowers, just for yourself. Good job, good job, good job. However you want to adjust that on an energy level. Let's say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. All right. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so we'll just wrap up. All right, so just imagine all your auras, your 17 auras, your astral body and your physical body, which are inside there, and both your groundings connecting you to the core of the earth. And just run gold light through all of that. Make sure your groundings are nice and wide and flowing all the way down to the core of the earth. Wide as all your auras. Gold light along your spine to help align all your major chakras. Gold light above your head to unblock your auras above your head. Gold light above the top of your auras to melt away junk that people have dumped there. Unblock your grounding just a little bit more. Indie grounding, melt away other people's connections to your grounding. Works better when nobody's hooked in there. And stebs, clear stebs, we'll do that quickly. Is just put out in front of you any stubborn triggered energy blocks that are still triggered right now. And just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Deep breath. And you can melt cords from people going into these blocks. Make sure you melt everybody out and yourself. Melt yourself, your own energy out of these blocks so that the blocks just melt away, or you could blow them up. Do that again. Put out in front of you any stubborn triggered energy blocks. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these? Deep breath. Melt cords from people going into them. Melt the blocks. Any left over, just give them to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with these? And we've melted cords about a bazillion times in this healing, but you can just, one more time, just imagine yourself, a blob for yourself. You don't have to see in detail. And imagine blobs for everybody else that you know or knows of you. And just melt cords between you and all those people. Don't send them gold light. Just do it in and around your space. Melt any cords between you and other people. And especially backlash people that are more likely to throw energy at you for any reason. But you can just go ahead, melt cords between you and everybody just to give yourself more breathing room. Be yourself and grow and change the way you want to. Melt all those cords. If you have a young child, 12 or younger, then keep the first chakra cord to that. But other than that, you don't need cords to other people on an ongoing basis. All right. So as we wrap up, just you could say, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me with my productivity and with good sleep? All right. What a rock star. Good job. That's a healing. Woo, 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 woo. Yay. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Okie doke. So the healing is done. And so that means that this was the final healing of February, final group healing that I'm doing in February. So that's kind of cool. And it was the first set ever that we did where there was the healings were 3 days apart, not 2 days apart. So if you have more feedback about that, you can put that in your post healing survey. That the link I'll be sending for that will be tonight, but you'll have, the rest of the month to fill out that survey if you want. I mean, fill it out before you forget if you want to fill it out. But you could put it off till later this month if you're not going to forget. If you want. Alrighty, so if you have follow-up comments about how this healing was for you, how you're doing right now after the healing, follow-up comments about the theme, productivity, or good sleep, or follow-up comments about any of the techniques we did today, feedback about the techniques, stuff like that, you could feel free to comment. If I don't get to your comment, just because there are so many and I want to chill out and rest, because that was a big healing, then you would have to post it again under the video, and then I would reply to your video comment later when I have time. But we'll see. We'll see. I will certainly do some of them right now. Okay, looking for the ones I missed. Someone says, so interesting that I've never consciously heard you talk about tree trunk blocks before. That's interesting. I've done them a bunch. You must have just missed every single healing that we've done them. Yeah, you could search Janet Wright tree trunk blocks. You'll find a bunch. There were some even that it's in the title itself. Some it doesn't make it into the title of the live stream because I only have a certain number of characters, but they're definitely, I'll put it in the keywords, so they should come up. The live stream will come up, and then you check for a chapter. But I mean, I guess you don't have to know because you just got them. You just heard it today. But yeah, we've worked them a bunch before. But anyway, you said, but I cleared blocks from armpits, shoulders, and sides and joints this morning. Oh, before the healing? Oh, that's cool. Also, the toilet with glass walls, no privacy theme is a recurring thing I used to have. Thanks for the healing. Yeah, so isn't that interesting? You don't have it anymore. I think I do still have it, but it's much more rare than it used to be. But my husband and I both have it, so we both kind of laugh if one of us has it and we remember it, we'll be like, oh my god, I had the public toilet dream again. Because it's like so ridiculous, So anyway, funny. But the school one, like being late for school or not knowing where your class is, or like not knowing if you have enough credit to graduate or something, or that's a recurring one that I think both he and I have. Oh, it's just funny. Still, warrants clearing, I don't have it that often now, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of fascinating when I do have it, just because it's clearly a recurring pattern, so it's always kind of interesting. Window to subconscious fears, Thanks for the healing. You're welcome. So it says, thank you so much, Janet. Hidden fear work opened up my feet. Oh, very cool. I have a performance evaluation with a person's name tomorrow. Any angel advice to make it productive, positive, hoping she won't blame me for coworker whack fest? Well, clearing hidden fears, actually, it's interesting that you put both those in your comment. That could be a really interesting way to prepare for the performance evaluation. Actually, that's interesting. Because a performance evaluation is like the perfect thing that would trigger hidden fears. Also, though, the last section that we did before the wrap up, it's like a sort of a dual section, the clearing not good enough blocks, and then the self-validation flowers. That would be a great one too to work before the performance evaluation. That's really interesting. Those would be great to work before the performance evaluation. Clear hidden fears and the clearing not good enough blocks. Good timing. Will she blame you for Whackfest? I don't know. She you had the performance review like 3 different times on the astral so far, and each time you were not pleased. I mean, you were pleased with your how you processed it, but you were not pleased with her messages to you. You felt like she didn't value your contributions enough. You felt like you were disappointed in her. Like she didn't live up to your expectations of how you felt like you should be encouraged and validated professionally. So, maybe she'll shift, between now and when you actually get the review, or maybe you'll just shift enough that you won't really have any expectations for her. And so you'll be in a fantastic mood after it. It's not like you were in a bad mood after it, but it was like it left a bad taste in your mouth. The astral rehearsals of it, just because you just it wasn't. Yeah, you just felt like she doesn't appreciate you enough. So, but again, you can't control that. You can control how you process it and all that stuff. So, and interestingly, I think she's looking for validation in your performance evaluation. She's looking for validation. So that could be interesting if you work your ability to validate her in the performance evaluation, because that could actually affect her mood and how much she validates you. I mean, not that you need to really spend too much time on that, but that could be kind of interesting. Just look at what does she expect from you as far as validation, and has she gotten that? It looks like no. And so, are you able to, make healing flowers with enough messages in them that, that your angels help you to edit and, whatever, so that you can, and you could do that before the actual performance evaluation too. That could be interesting. Give her validation flowers through the angels, give them to the angels, and then, But it reminds me of some people have moms like that always want validation. And so if they're not validated and valued in each issue, that they get really pissy. So anyway, food for thought. Now it says, hi Janet, bouncing back from some sickness. My body feels warm and good. May I ask about the baggage I've been avoiding? Have I managed to clear some of it? Guessing about 5 to 10% because I probably have a lot. Well, the way I'm looking at it, it's sort of like, I think it could be interesting to work it in like different issues, like job search. What are you avoiding relating to career, job search, all that stuff? And what are you avoiding related to boundaries with your parents? And just kind of see, because that could sort of root out stuff that you might not notice otherwise if you don't make it specific to a certain issue that you're working. I think of like maybe your top 3 or 4 issues. Maybe one of them is your dating love life, maybe one of them is self-esteem, or maybe working out, something that you really like you care about it, and then look at what you're avoiding relating to those things. That could be interesting, just to make it more fun, because I think otherwise the way you show it to me, it kind of feels like you have to drink like unsweetened lemon juice or something. It's like it's like there's too much resistance triggers. So if you can kind of cute it up and give yourself maybe some gold glitter as you're doing it or something, I think then your spirit might be more get into the mood of it. I think you are clearing what you're avoiding, but yeah, maybe at the same time clear resistance and try to be more playful about it. And like I said, make it more issue focused so that it's more interesting to you. So that that kind of helps you to clear some of the resistance, because it's like it's more clear to you what the benefit is. Okay, hope that helps. Someone says hi, and a nice flower emoji. Good morning, the sun is shining. Well, that's nice. I love your work, Janet. Thank you very much. You're welcome to watch the live stream, of course. For those that don't know, I do 5 of these every month, and the schedule is on my website, which is jwhealing.com, which is similar to the name of the YouTube channel. JW, which is my name, Janet Wright. jwhealing.com. No S, healing. jwhealing.com. Okay, someone says, hi, Janet. I've been feeling physically heavy and tired, with my forehead getting set into a frown again for the last week or more, falling asleep a lot to be on jet lag. Any suggestions? Yes, so you do have jet lag. You did travel. Yeah, I was looking at Sleep Slide for you. You were one of the sample people that especially needed Sleep Slide work. And yeah, I think that's the main one that I was looking at with you. Your dad's energy on your sleep slide did manage to clear, but your mom and your sister's energy is still pretty prominent on your sleep slide. I don't know why that is, because we did unblock it in the healing. You know, I don't know. Is your sister married? Because it seems to be that whole, you know, when are you getting married thing. It's subconscious, though. I don't know if your mom consciously is like that. You know, like wanting you to think about that. But it seems like if somebody asks you, when are you getting married, there's all this resistance that triggers for you, and your mom and your sister are corded into those blocks. So I don't know if that's because they're mentioning it, or just one of your dad's relatives is mentioning it on an energy level or something. But you guys are all they're cording your blocks about like not wanting to get married, not wanting to think about marriage, not wanting to prioritize marriage, not wanting an arranged marriage, not wanting, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know? So I think maybe in addition to, you know, explicitly washing your sister and your mom out and washing them off your sleep slide, maybe think of like, what's your baggage around getting married, or, you know, societal expectations and family expectations about you and marriage, and just keep burning that up or blowing it up. I think that could get your mom and your sister out more easily if you cleared some marriage baggage and marriage resistance. The forehead tightness, I know you had that before and then you got better with it because you were repairing stuff. Your sixth chakras are not currently damaged. I wonder too if the forehead pressure got better during the healing or not. Today's healing, because we did do UB 1 and 2, which may have freed up a little bit of flow there. You know, physical body aura right here, first layer, like right here. It's like a big black. This is black. Yeah, okay, good. So like right here. It's not this big though. It's like that big. But it's like an energy block right there, right in front of your sixth chakra, physical sixth chakra. And so it's hard for your sixth to like pull in the energy through the sixth layer, from the sixth layer in, with this big block right there. It looks like your dad cords there. He cords those blocks. No invasive beings, just your dad. But I think that's because the healing, you know, got rid of a lot of beings. Otherwise, there might be beings usually, but It's a lot. It's like so stubborn. It's interesting. I'm healing it a little because I just healed you, and I don't know, the angels want me to do it. So, but yeah, I'm just unblocking the front of your sixth chakra. So if someone wants to do it on themselves, it's like imagine your sixth chakra, the front, round opening in the front, round opening in the back, and just, you know, any hardness right there, you don't want that there. Right. So you just take it off, give it to your angels. Here you go. Take it off, angels. Here you go. Go. Yeah, you can see if that helps at all, what I just did. And if you comment later, like in your survey, like, oh, what you did not help, or what you did help, remind me what I did, because I don't remember. So like, I don't remember later what I did. So all I did is I unblocked the front of your physical sixth chakra. Basically, that's it. You know, your first layer of your physical body, aura right here, and, you know, in the front of your physical sixth. Falling asleep a lot too, beyond jet lag. Yeah, I think it's your mom and your sisters in your space. So yeah, if you were to work clearing marriage baggage. So I don't know if there's somebody getting married in the family, or it's just you're a certain age, and so everybody's like subconsciously thinking about it, or what that's about. But anyway, if you clear that baggage, that should help pop them out. Clear at least a good bit of it. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Feeling slightly triggered, but mellow. How did I do, and how did my mom do? I've been feeling really sad and heavy the past 2 days, like I'm a bad child and that I owe my family. Yeah, that was funny. Your mom was like play disowning you and saying you're not really a part of the family. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect that of your mother, because usually she's very like, you know, let me be involved in every hair follicle you have and every cell of your body, you know? So this is kind of a new tactic of her to be like, you're not really the same family as I am. But it could be a good sign. It could be that you're just so not conforming that she's realizing that her efforts are futile, and she can't make you into her mini me anymore. I mean, because, you know, sometimes it's like people think that, I mean, you know, it's natural to want like this perfect lovey-dovey but yet respectful relationship with a relative, and, you know, you're working on it, and it turns out once you finally get your space, now they totally hate you even more than before. But, you know, sometimes that's the result. I mean, I don't think she hates you, but I think she reminds me of that person that was going to get a job, that's getting a job evaluation tomorrow. That's like their boss was looking for validation. Your mom is constantly looking for validation from you. Like, I mean, you're pretty much, your job in her mind is to validate her for like as much as her husband does not validate her, as much as your siblings don't validate her, as much as the world doesn't validate her, as much as her parents didn't validate her. You're just supposed to make all that better, you know, which is an impossible job. So she's just letting you know that you're not doing that job properly, which, you know, that's probably good that you're not doing that job properly. But anyway, yeah. So I would say, what part of you is feeling sad and heavy? I think it is you, but I think it's just some kind of inner child part of you that's like 3, waiting for her to pick you up and, you know, be happy with you, whereas she was just busy complaining about something at the time. You know, so yeah, just do some inner child healing for the parts of you that are waiting for her to validate and comfort and encourage and support you. The feeling that you owe your child, your family. Yeah, I think it is like an inner child part of you that's hurt and confused. it's common for like an abused child to think like, okay, what can I do differently? How am I, like to automatically accept the default that the abuse is their fault. Like a child, they'll think, oh yeah, it's my fault. Like, no matter how ridiculous and extreme the abuse is, it's very common that a child will think, well, I must have done something wrong. What can I do differently? Like, that they take full responsibility for the abuse occurring, and so you may have to just give yourself lots of flowers about like, it's not my problem flowers, just to validate that, like, your mama has a few personality issues, and even if you made that your job 24/7, it still wouldn't fix her personality issues. And I mean, I think that, she picked you and you picked her because to break that cycle, so that you wouldn't spend your life trying to fix her, and that she would realize, like, if I don't fix myself, it's not going to happen. I think consciously she kind of, wants to be all self-empowered and all that, but I think she just has a really codependent mother-daughter context, like, default. So if she is disappointed in you, it's usually good news. It means that you're getting stronger, that you're harder to manipulate. It means you're making progress with your projects, typically. If she's unhappy and saying negative things to you. So you might just have to find the inner parts of you that don't get that and just keep trying to, fix her even more and just heal those parts of you so that you can just take it as the compliment that it is. Hope that helps. But yeah, you can also ask your angels, what do you owe your mother? And just have that conversation with your angels. So that they can clear up any confusion that you have about what you do owe her, what you don't owe her, what's good to do, what's not good to do. Because your mother always blurs that line, and kind of goes into really unhealthy areas with that. And so it might be confusing after a while. So you can just work that with your angels. So you have certainty and clarity about what's appropriate for you to do with you and your mom. Okay, cool. But yes, according to your mother, you are a bad child, and you don't have to let that bum you out. Heal yourself enough so that you're not looking for the good child star of approval from your mother, because that's a really twisted road with your mom. Okay, hope that helps. Someone says, hi, Janet, tuned in late, beaten up lately. Anything needs repair, please. I did the flowers. Okay, so you are healing yourself. Unless because your name is a little close to somebody else that is in the healing. So, but if your name is accurate on that YouTube, then you did not get this healing. You're healing yourself. So I think you're just wanting a quick look as to what you need to work on. Chakra repair would be the easiest place to start for you. Because your astral body chakras, the first and second chakra are damaged, and then physical body chakras 4 through 2, 1 are damaged. So I would just focus on chakra repair. That would be the best thing. Quickest way to feel a lot better faster. And then grounding, unblocking. Your grounding is like half blocked. And so between the chakra damage and the half block grounding, it's just meh. Your auras aren't that bad. Some of your Wei Chi auras need repair too. But astral and physical auras are whole. So I don't know if you kind of ignore the Wei Qi auras. Do you mindfully do repair all 17 at once, or do you just think of like astral and physical? So I would say in order of importance for you right now, chronologically, what to do: chakra repair, grounding, unblocking, or repair of, make sure you're not leaving out the Wei Qi auras. Okay, hope that helps. Flowers are nice, but flowers are kind of like the icing on the cake. So if you don't have the cake yet, there's a limit to how much flowers can do. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Appreciate your healings. Well, good. Is there anything my angels would like me to repeat or be aware of? I wasn't fully here for the healing as I would have liked. Oh, I see, you were distracted. Well, yeah, but you got it. I mean, the healing is on a spirit level too, so you don't have to consciously watch the live stream. But thank you for the emojis. That's cute. Yeah. Clear Hidden Fears. If you're going to do one thing from this healing, that would probably be it. Clear Hidden Fears. We did it right after Sleep Slide. So there's like Good Karma Windows, then Sleep Slide, then Clear Hidden Fears. And it's easy. It's just that you make sure that you're clearing the fears that you like hide from yourself because you think they're gross or embarrassing or whatever. You know, like silly ones that end up making nightmares, like that you're late or you're doing something embarrassing or, you know, somebody's trying to kill you or, you know, whatever, like weird things. So we cleared regular fear blocks, and then we put out in front of us also ones that were like that show up only in nightmares, but you have never think about that you actually have that fear, you know, consciously. And so we cleared both those. But we did it, you know, mindfully, where you get the invasive beings out, you uncord the people, and then you blow it all up. So it'll be its own chapter within a day, if you want to wait for the chapters. But otherwise, maybe it's halfway through the healing. Clear Hidden Fears is what the chapter will be called, and that would be great for you to do. Someone says, do my angels want me to repeat the 5th chakra and my creative work from the live stream? "100% love the new twin set extra day." Oh yeah. Yeah, the spacing of the days. I did too. I liked that quite a bit. That's a keeper for the twin set. I like that. Do my angels want me to repeat the 5th chakra and my creative work from the live stream? What's stumping me is we didn't explicitly do much 5th chakra work. I mean, we did stomach meridian, maybe, and the stomach meridian points near the throat chakra. Maybe that's what you mean. Creative ring work, we did do that. So yeah, I think your angels are a little confused too. So anyway, I'm just going to look at what your angels like. They do like if you work tree trunk blocks more. And that composite scar valley, they like that quite a bit for you. I think all the angels like it. It was a section. I'm going to have to point that out actually when I do the healing summary. It's sort of in a non-obvious location. It's sort of like the second half of aura repair. It'll be its own section right after aura repair. And I'll call the chapter Composites Clearing or Melting Composite Scar Valley. Composite Scar Valley is like just leftover scarring in any Wei Qi auras from having had damage to the Wei Qi aura, but then you fix the damage so there's no leak, but there's still like hard blocks, you know, that mess with the continuity of the gold mesh spheres. So then there's this big space with no gold mesh spheres, so it's like very weak part of that Wei Qi aura. So you can get those, like, and I'm calling them composite. I'm calling them scar valleys just because of the shape of them, because the wax comes in and it kind of makes this, you know, valley look of valley of darkness. Valley of just hardened energy along the edges. So anyway, we made a composite of all your scar valleys in all your auras, and we melted it all at once. So just pretty hip. That's cool. So your angels really love that. So I will make it its own chapter. You can go right to the melting the composite copy of the scar valleys. Or however I word it. That'll be right after aura repair. The tail end of aura repair. Creative rings, your creative rings, they're interesting. I mean, they're repaired, but they have like this white kind of like, it reminds you of like white, like, I don't know, like white cottony confetti, like, oh, like shredded paper, you know, from a paper shredder, you know, like white shredded paper. You have like white shredded paper in the back. I mean, it's not actual paper, but that's what it looks like in the back of your creative rings. Like all three of them, there's this panel of white, not beings. It's just something from somebody you know. I think it's somebody involved with the whole parking space thing, that you were like looking for a parking space and talking to different people and blah, blah, blah. And somebody said they would give you one and then they changed their mind and blah, 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 blah. One of the parking space people just put that in your creative rings. I think they were tired of you telepathing them about it and they're like, shut up about the parking space. So go ahead and like lift their energy off from your creative rings. A little extra healing right there. But I think once you get rid of that, your creative rings will be better. Even without that, though, there are a couple invasive beings that hang out back there in the back of your all three of your creative rings in the back there. It's like there's like a sort of a like black hard shell there, and that's from, it seems like from your, like a father figure, but I don't remember ever hearing about father figures with you. Maybe stepfather or something. But anyway, maybe just an older male that you know, but it's been there. That's been there since like 6 years. Anyway, you can just keep on blocking the back of your creative rings. Get rid of all sorts of interesting devices and junk back there. Okay, hope that helps. Your throat chakra, it is a little messed up. It's like it's got white. It's yeah, you actually do have some. Oh, that's why you asked, because you have throat chakra damage. I thought you were saying there's a fifth chakra part of the healing, which there's not. Anyway, okay, yeah, you do have throat chakra damage. Yeah, it's like, okay, if this were the front of your throat chakra, then it's like right there. It's like a missing chunk, and then there's a couple invasive beings right there, and like a couple people with cords. So yeah, more work on your throat chakra. Sorry, I didn't understand where you were coming from with that question. But yeah, you need to have more invasive beings recycled and a couple cords from people, and just finish repairing that up. Okay. Hope that helps. Somebody says, wow, this was amazing. I was feeling so janky today and this helped. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Someone says, awesome twin set. Thank you. I love the Wei Chi aura. Yeah, for other people, that's 2 words, Wei Chi. It's a type of chi that is strong boundaries energy. I love the Wei Chi aura and gold mesh sphere repair, especially the burnt valleys. Yeah, the scar valleys. been doing in the tummy area for mother-in-law, but she is so persistent. You don't like spaces, do you? You always mush things together. So persistent, your mother-in-law. Yeah, she's a piece of work. She doesn't want you to become financially independent from your husband. She has a very hierarchical idea, well, particularly because your husband is her son, you know, but in general, she feels like she's one of these, like, yeah, she just doesn't want you to get your own finance, get your own income, stable income, like significant stable income. She doesn't want that. So she keeps trying to punch through any aura that she can. So melting the scar valleys more and more is going to help, because if you have a scar valley, then the gold mesh sphere doesn't get in that area, and then it's a lot weaker, and so it's easier for someone to try to punch through. So yeah, keep melting scar valleys, in particular in front of your tummy area. That could be good. Also around like the back sides of your head and neck, like any scar valleys around there too. Okay, cool. You could just do any scar valleys that you have, you know, in general too. Keep doing that. Okay. I'm glad you liked all the work we did today. This is, hi, Janet. Thanks again for today. You're welcome. I am currently still upset with my friend, and you give me their initials, which is helpful. Thank you. I feel as if she's been in my space, micromanaging my identity, my actions, etc. Something just seems invasive, suppressive. I'm doing work again, but I feel like part of my motivation might be her. I've tried giving her flowers for boundaries. Yeah, I think she has potential for getting the message. Maybe try like a park bench communication style with her, you know, just telepathically. Just imagine like a long park bench, and you're on one side of it, and invite her to sit on the other side of it, and have the angels, your angels and her angels around, you know, and so they can help. So she doesn't like scoot up next to you on the park bench, you know, and just make message flowers and healing flowers for her, and like validation flowers about how you appreciate her as a person, you respect her and everything, and you're grateful for, you know, the relationship, but that, you know, it's like individuality and, you know, free will is like really more and more and more important to you. And just have your angels, you know, edit and deliver them if it'll help, you know, that kind of thing. So don't give them directly to her. Have the angels give them if they'll help. But I think just having like, even just after that, just like a relaxed kind of communication with her, but in that park bench style, you know, just on a telepathic level, and see if you can explain to her like where you're coming from. I think she just doesn't understand sometimes, and she gets a little bit manic about it. So I think that's what you're sensing about, like, that she's kind of stuck to you like glue. It's like she's prone to feeling rejected, and then she feels like you're misunderstanding her good intentions if you're rejecting her. So it becomes like mistranslation after mistranslation after misunderstanding after misunderstanding, you know? And so I think just, you know, if the angels pick a nice astral level that helps her to hear, and, you know, the angels help you to explain it in a way that is less threatening to her, I think then she could just chill out. So see how that goes. But yeah, she has been in your space. It's a bit of like a backseat driver type idea, but it's like this fear thing. It's like she just feels like you guys are like that's what friends should do for each other. She has a sort of an invasive friendship concept. I think because she has felt abandoned and unsupported by people in the past personally. And so she feels like she never wants to be that kind of friend. And so she's kind of going to the opposite extreme. I hope that helps. You've tried giving her flowers on boundaries. Yeah, I think it's more about like, it is about boundaries, but it's about like free will and like breathing room. It's like, it's like love from a distance, you know? Like there's this expression that I have sometimes, supportive solitude. And like, if someone can just leave you alone, you still know that they're in your camp. You know, you still know that they really support you, but it's like there's a lot of solitude. Sometimes you need much more solitude. You need less communication from other people in order to hear yourself better, you know? So maybe explain it to her in that way. Like you're really trying to do some deeper self-discovery and you're trying to get clarity about some really bigger things in your life, like career, vocation, what's realistic, what's not realistic, what's fulfilling to you, what's meaningful to you. And it's stuff that's so individual, so that like you need a level of spiritual solitude that you haven't needed this much before. And so some of that like invasive closeness that she was doing before wasn't so much of a problem. You like had bigger problems to deal with and it just wasn't a priority. But now, you're ready to really explore some deeper, more introspective things. And so you need her to do you a favor and adjust her concept of friendship so that it's a much more, that to her it might feel like a distant friendship, but it's not actually. It's just a friendship that is like a park bench friendship, as opposed to like I'm reading your mind every second kind of friendship. I hope that helps. All right. So it says, I somehow associate the dirty toilet stress dreams as that I need to clean up my grounding I'm not releasing properly. No, I think they have to do with shame, like public shame, societal shame, like that you're doing something that, other people think you should be ashamed of. I think it's a shame embarrassment thing. Public shaming, that kind of thing. Body shame could also be, shame of bodily functions and, all that. So yeah, I don't think it's a grounding thing. Although if anything motivates you to unblock your grounding more, that's, I guess, good. But your grounding is usually pretty good. Someone's showing lots of flower emojis. That's adorable. Thank you very much. This is, hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. Don't mean to nag, but I feel crappy and have no desire to help myself right now. Am I in avoidance prison? The avoidance prison is a technique that we did once or twice, probably. Oh yeah, your angels are reminding me of your survey that you wrote, that I read this morning when I was prepping. You are realizing some things that you used to. People can use drama as a distraction. So like, oh, my mom keeps whacking me, and so you think about that all the time. Oh, my mom keeps whacking me, and oh, how can I stop her from whacking me? This is so unfair that she's whacking me. My mom keeps whacking me, right? But you've gotten present enough to the point where it's not really about that your mom's whacking you and that your daughter's whacking you anymore. It's about how you feel internally. And so you're beginning to realize that, you're beginning to feel some things that you tried to distract yourself from with interpersonal dramas. And your boundaries are getting stronger and stronger, so that, yeah, you still have the interpersonal dramas, but they're not like everything for you. You're actually starting to feel some of your own loneliness, some of your own sadness. That's even from past lives. At least half of it is from past lives. And that is technically progress, that you're strong enough and brave enough to feel some of your own feelings that you need to clear, versus getting so caught up in interpersonal dramas with everybody that it's all about, why are these people mistreating me? Because once you realize, okay, well, sure, fine, that dynamic is not great, but deep inside, I actually feel sad, and that's fucked up. Then you can start to work that. Why do, let me release my sadness. Let me release my loneliness. You release, because loneliness is blocks to the fourth chakra and the fourth layer. Sadness is blocks to the second chakra and second layer. Overall, grief can be blocks in a bunch of places, but I think you have more of a pure sadness, which is just second layer and second chakra blocks. So, I mean, you could make sure that you unblock. I mean, I guess you don't want to do any of that right now. There's that. You can't really. But if your motivation does come back even this much, then unblock. Just realize it's I mean, I know it sounds twisted, but sometimes feeling like shit is progress, because you're letting yourself acknowledge how you actually feel. And you're not so, taken over by fear or taken over by bitterness or resentment towards others. So you're not like pulled out into external awareness too much. And you're actually aware of internal stuff. Like I'll give you an example. Like when I was, my husband is my second husband. So my first husband, I married him when I was 25. And which is, almost 30 years ago now. Ancient history, right? But it was not a good marriage. We were not at all compatible, it's a clear illustration of that love and compatibility are two very different things, because I did love him and I think he loved me, but we had no compatibility whatsoever. And so that was not enough. Love is not all you need, in fact. In fact, the song is wrong. Love is not all you need. You need compatibility. It's actually pretty easy to fall in love with somebody. I mean, unless some people have a imbalance where it's hard to fall in love with people, but for someone like me, it's easy to fall in love. It's just, you have to make sure you're falling in love with a compatible person, a long-term compatible person. So anyway, so it was a terrible marriage. When it was finally over, I wasn't happy. And so then I had to realize, well, okay, my husband's not in my life anymore. My first husband is not in my life anymore. I've moved on. I have a new home, new job, yada, yada. But I'm still unhappy, right? So I can't blame that on that external drama anymore. That's a thing. I have to fix that thing. I'm actually not happy internally. You see what I'm saying? I had like whipped up this whole drama of marrying, a flaming alcoholic as a husband, my first husband, not consciously doing it on purpose, but, it's like this urge to, drown yourself in some external drama, so you're not aware of what is even more kind of delicate, which is how you feel. But once you finally realize how you feel, it means you're strong enough to realize how you feel. And so, try to pat yourself on the back and be like, well, good for me. I realized that I feel like shit. And that's progress. And then, of course, the next step is to work on not feeling like shit. But, it's like an internal thing, and it is. And so that's sort of the first step on this chapter, is to fix how you feel inside. And it's no longer about your mom and your daughter. It's just about you. And what do you need in your life, and what, maybe your chakras don't generate enough. Maybe you just have too much old baggage from past lives that you've been carrying around and carrying around and carrying around. And you just figure, well, if someone treats me well enough, I won't feel bad anymore. But guess what? A, these people are not treating me well enough anyway. But B, even now that I'm strong enough to feel how I feel, it's still, I don't feel good enough. So long story short, if you need to just feel crappy for a bit before you get pissed off enough and motivated enough to ground and clear the blocks, then so be it, you know? But once you feel like, okay, I'm sick of feeling crappy enough that I want to do something about it, just know that a lot of it's past life stuff. Probably like, it depends on the day, what's triggered and what's making you feel like crappy, but it's like 50 to 70% past life stuff, depending on the day. 40 to 70 past life stuff. So you can just, you know, make piles out in front of you of all the shit that's making you feel like crap, and just say, angels, is this too much, or is this okay to clear right now? And if it's still there in 20 seconds, that means your angels already checked it, and you can go ahead and blow it up, and just keep doing that. Just keep blowing things up, because you did get the healing and you don't have any major damage right now. It's just blocks. And you're strong enough now to be aware of it. So you're strong enough to clear it too. But you can take your time. You know, you have a lifetime. You have more than that. You have forever. You can push it off into a whole nother lifetime. The problem is, the longer you push it off, the shittier you feel for longer. So, but anyway, the healing did work. You're stronger, you're more present. But the downside is you're more aware of feeling shitty. But you can do it. Just get that grounding going. I mean, your grounding is going, but you have to like kind of face some stuff, you know, and clear it. Just face it enough to clear it. You could even like go like that, like face it, like put it over to the side and blow it up from the side, if that's less for you than putting it right in front of you and blowing it up. Maybe that would help. Are you in an avoidance prison? Not exactly. You're kind of just in shock that you feel like shit to this level, because it's a different, it's a little more vulnerable when you feel like shit just because you feel like shit, and not just because your mother did something today. You know, it's more like, it's a little deeper. And so, you know, it's like me after the divorce, where I was like, wow, I am still sad, you know, or I'm still, you know, feeling lonely, or I'm still feeling whatever, you know, and then I can't blame it on my ex-husband anymore, you know. I have to actually acknowledge that it's my shit. I can clear it. So maybe an affirmation like, this is my shit and I can clear it, you know, something like that. I don't know what'll help. Hope any of that helped. All right. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you so much. I've been stressed because of kids, especially now, and husband being out of town for other stressful reasons. Anything I can do to ease stress? Thanks again. Your unprocessed stress pots are really full. So that could be something to keep checking. You know how we do that, where you imagine all the pots that you have. Imagine this, it's a metaphorical representation of your ability to handle new events and new stresses. And just imagine them like pots in your space, and maybe you have 40, maybe you have 10. And, you know, if I look at your stress pots, you have like 35 of them, and like all 35 are overflowing, you know, like overflowing toilets kind of, you know. So just, you know, uncord everyone from your stress pots and just melt away all the contents, you know, bring red earth energy, and just keep melting, keep draining them, because you need, you know, because shit keeps happening, you know, so you can't be like overflowing with unprocessed stress that you've already, you know, got. So just work on that. Also, it seems like what happens is you kind of look at your husband and you're like, really? You can't be here to help me with this? And then like he puts a bunch of energy in your space, like it's your problem, not mine. And then that gets in the way of you hearing your angels. So you have like a little bit of like husband argument energy in your space between you and your angels. So you can just imagine that like a big wall, whatever junk is in between you and your angels, and getting full support from your angels, and just keep melting that. So yeah, melt the wall between you and your angels, clear out argument energy between you and your husband, because it's like you're spinning your wheels on whatever with him, and keep emptying your unprocessed stress pots. It seems like your spiritual path too gets like it gets bombed. I think by him, your husband. So maybe just lots of gold light and make big gold protective force fields around your spiritual path. I think because you're, I don't know consciously, but telepathically, you're talking about splitting up with him, but you kind of do it in a very triggering way. Like, you're an asshole, I'm going to leave you, you know, which they could be the opposite of what you think consciously. If so, forgive me. But there's like this back and forth about like, you know, insults and really triggering statements. And so you get really frustrated, you say something like that to him telepathically, and then he like dive bombs your space, your path, like with all these chunks of energy, like, you know, you don't appreciate me, blah, 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 blah. You know? So just maybe give your throat chakra healing so that you don't say especially triggering things to him, just so you don't have to deal with the backlash. You know, like just get your throat to be more internal communications and less fighting with him stuff. Even if he starts it, just like let it drop on the ground. Don't like reply back. And just like peaceful inner voice, and then protect your path. Just lots of gold light, you know, heal up the bomb exploding rips in the sides of your spiritual path. Yeah, you're trying to do that. Okay, I hope that helps. So it says, hi, Janet, sleep is better, but I'm still not at all productive on SATs. Oh, on Saturdays. You guys and your abbreviations. Why? I'm sick today, but was more productive since I got out of my house early to go to test for flu and then ran errands. LOL, thanks. Okay. Your Thursday and Friday dictate a lot of Saturday. That could be for everybody, but it's especially for you. So like you figure, okay, I'm going to just, you know, my energy is whatever it is on Monday through Friday. I'm just going to get through and survive Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, I can catch up on my life and do everything, right? But it's not working that way for you because on Monday through Friday, it's like Monday and Tuesday, you kind of, you know, even without the healing, Monday and Tuesday, you kind of are a little bit more like hooked into your tree trunk areas and your hot pants areas. And then Wednesday is sort of like your hump day. Is kind of like, you're like, do I like my job? What do I not like about my life? Like, you feel kind of like, you kind of do this far off, like let go kind of a thing on Wednesdays. So then Thursday and Friday, you're just not checked in enough, and your work keeps going and your challenges keep going, but you're like, you're kind of like opting out, you know? And so you don't really have the same strength and boundaries and grounding that you do on Monday and Tuesday on Thursday and Friday. So on Thursday and Friday, your space just gets totally piled up with stuff. But then you expect, because Saturday is Saturday and you don't have to go to work, that you should just be this Energizer bunny of productivity and spontaneity and glory and joy, you know? But it doesn't work that way. If you let yourself get like so screwed on Thursday and Friday, then Saturday you're just screwed and you just are recovering from being screwed, you know? So I guess the problem is more Thursday and Friday. The problem is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, not Saturday. You see what I'm saying? Saturday is the symptom. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are the problem. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, whatever you do on Monday and Tuesday, try to do that on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like whatever attitudes you have, if you try to be more positive, if you're thinking better, however you're doing it, do it on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or invent new systems for you for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because you have to check in. It's like you just kind of opt out of Wednesday through Friday, and you're like, well, whatever, I'll show up on Saturday and be amazing. But it doesn't work that way. You can't just show up and be amazing after like kind of tuning out for that. many days. Hope that makes sense. So I don't mean to blame the victim. I know your life is challenging and you're working on clearing some deeper issues. And you have come a long way. Definitely. So hope that helps. Work on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday more. Don't expect miracles out of Saturday if Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're not more present and more sort of like taking care of business on an energy level. You can go to work and still on a spirit level be like blow up blocks and keep your grounding going and, you know, be a badass. All right, hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm glad you had a productive day, whenever that was, when you ran errands. Smith says, hi, Janet. Recently, my stomach had bloated a lot, almost tripled. I wonder what it is about. I would think of what you ate in the 2 days leading up to that, more than an energy thing. That much bloating is probably an energy thing. Like, no, it's probably a food thing. Sorry. Food thing that then also becomes an energy thing, but it seems like more like a food thing. So maybe, I don't know if you keep a food journal or you just, if you're really aware and intuitive about what you eat and you know the foods you eat and what is kind of questionable for you, what you need to intuit, like, oh, maybe that was it. I need to stop eating that, or I need to, yeah, it seems like it's some physical level thing, like food, beverages, that kind of thing. For that level of bloating. Hope that helps. Someone says, thank you for the feedback, Janet. Wow, I never saw my mom's behavior as abuse. This is mind-blowing. This is blowing my mind. Yes, it is abuse. I mean, you know, it's emotional, psychological abuse. I mean, yeah. It's spiritually abusive. She's very invasive. She whacks a lot, and, you know, she has very strong expectations for how you should live your life, and she doesn't let you be you, you know? You're supposed to be what she wants you to be. You know, she's a very rigid, even like your sister or your brother, she has a much more relaxed view of how they should be, or your husband, or her husband, even. It's like, for some reason with you, it's like you are like a tool in her toolbox or something. I mean, she really like manages to depersonalize you quite a bit, so that you're not allowed your autonomy and your own opinions and your own choices. And she's very manipulative about it. So yeah, I would call that abusive. Anyway, someone says, I'll do the work suggested. Thank you. I have such a fear she'll turn other family members against me. But I know that's not true. I've also grown closer to other female adults in my family, and that's helped too. Thanks again. Yeah, I think, you know, with somebody like that in your family, you have to, I think it helps to be not afraid of losing family. You know, like if you know that, it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, if you want to let some manipulative person crush you and you're going to just be their handmaiden for the rest of your life, no matter what, that's one thing. But if you want to, you know, feel good actually when you wake up and during the day and accomplish things and feel satisfaction and all that, then you can't really play those games with somebody. And so if she wants to try to get you disowned out of the family, well, you know, happiness is maybe more important. It depends, you know, depends on what you want. But, you know, for me, that was certainly the case. But yeah, I would say whatever she's trying to threaten, go ahead and clear the fear of that actually occurring so that you have no more fear about it. You know, if people want a relationship with you, then that's fine. If they don't want a relationship with you because someone is manipulating them to think bad things about you, or they're just too chicken to stand up to your mom, it's not your problem. You know, so I would just say kind of lean into whatever she's threatening And not with her, but within yourself, just be like, yeah, I can be fine. You know, I have control over my destiny. I have control over my own happiness. You know, she doesn't, you know, whatever she's dangling in front of you as a threat, you know, remove that as a threat in your own heart. You know, so you are not threatened by that anymore. Because then, you know, she's just playing a game with herself then. All right. Hope that helps. Someone says, ooh, I may have to stop because there's so many. Oh, okay, there's just one more, maybe. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah, we'll see. Someone says tree trunk, scarred valley reminds me of bruised aura layers. Yeah, it's the same thing as bruised aura layers. It's a similar thing to bruised aura layers. Yeah, it's like the cousin. Thank you. Unblock creative ring backs. Got it. Also swollen lymph node right side throat. Thanks. Helps. Okay, good. This is, I used to have a recurring dream that I didn't actually graduate from college and I have to leave my job, apartment life, etc., and go back to grad school. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a dream that it's like either I didn't finish high school or I didn't finish college and I'm not sure of like what I need to finish and like the school year's going and it, like everyone else has like total clarity about this and I'm just like, uh-oh, this is kind of late in the year and I really don't know where I stand and like this funny, you know, fear of humiliation, fear of not being done on time, fear of, I guess, like authority and structures, and it's interesting. Yeah, so yeah. But this is what I'm talking about, hidden fears. It's like you may not think of that stuff normally, consciously at all, you know, but your dreams are telling you, okay, well, there's some old baggage regarding that, which could be from past lives even, you know, because like I didn't really have trouble in high school or college graduating, you know, so whatever. So it says, thank you for the healing for me and my teen. Yes, you're welcome. How's he doing? Good question. He could use more work with tree trunk blocks, actually. I suggested that he work more with his angels on that, and he said, okay. He kind of looks around. He's not really looking forward on his path. I wonder about that. I told him he can let his angels walk him forward on his path, and so he's letting them do that now. So he likes that. I think he just gets other people in his space, maybe kids his age, and he just loses his way forward on his path. But now he's like holding his angels' hands and letting them walk him forward on his path, and he likes that. So maybe just check in on that if he's, you know, in the next like couple days or a couple weeks, you know, check, is he moving forward on his path? And you can remind him that his angels can walk him forward. And yeah, that's the main thing, really. Huh. Alrighty. Mrs. Thank you for the advice on that person going to bask in the healing and redo the techniques. Oh, good. Mrs. Thank you for the feedback and your message about seeing more damaged baggage. Oh, yeah. Good. I'm glad that helped. This is thank you for your encouraging speech. Yeah, I like sitting in shit for a while before I realize enough is enough. Yeah, it happens. By the way, what's your opinion on past life regression therapy? Unnecessary, I would say. I mean, you could do it just for kicks if you wanted, if you trusted the practitioner. But otherwise, you could just stay here and in the present. If you go do that, if you trust the practitioner, definitely bring your angels, because it might be an out-of-body process and you don't want that practitioner kind of in your space at that level. So just, make sure you bring your angels. Say, angels, come with me. Angels, make sure it's safe for me, that kind of thing. But otherwise, you can clear past life baggage, just like you clear any baggage. So I would think that it's completely unnecessary. Although, a long time ago, before I understood this kind of thing, I thought it sounded cool. Someone says thank you and thanks for the homework. You're welcome. Someone says cool. Thank you. Okay, cool. So that's it for the whole month. I hope you enjoyed this healing set, and feel free to, if you wish, to purchase healing sets on my website, jwhealing.com. March and April sets are up for sale right now on my website, jwhealing.com. Okay, take care.